Hello everyone, and welcome to Whispers from the Atheneum presents Echoes of Forgotten, Session 21. We have a couple people away at the moment. Mim is sick and not here, and we have Jeremy coming in from work, so he'll jump on when he can. For inspiration this week, we've given it to Annex and Jakova, as they did some really good roleplay, and we really couldn't think of a third. It was a very roleplay heavy session, so a lot of the points were going to go to that. But as we begin, I guess we'll have Darian read out what happened last week.
Last time on Echoes, the party left the ruined church and returned to Andivine, where they almost immediately split up. Jakova and Judas went to look at other churches, where they joined a funeral for someone they didn't know, thoroughly confusing the widow. Annex and Selena relaxed and had a nice meal, and Christine went to bed early. Once they all met back up at the inn, a disagreement broke out between most of the party and Judas. His boss, Jake, interrupted the goings-on and told Judas to chill, and things settled down for the night. This is when Christine decided to get up, go back to the abandoned church, and commit further destruction of private property. After being satisfied with her work, she started returning to town, and on her way back passed a group of individuals who got a very good look at her, rushing towards the now further destroyed church. The next day, they made their preparations to leave Andivine, did some quick shopping, and then journeyed south to Telnerus. Once they arrived, they got an inn, collected their payment from Mardo, went to the gear house, and met an old acquaintance after placing an order, and agreed to meet Brolov later that night for a catch-up. Soon after that, Osiris split from the party, when he discovered his old teacher, Chris Sendo, was in town, and he set out to find her. We'll do with that once he arrives.
Yeah, so basically it's probably around mid-afternoon, 3-4 p.m.-ish. You've all had a bunch of things to do today. Unless anyone wants to do anything specifically, do we just want to time skip till the evening? And I believe the Bralov was scheduled for the next day, not tonight.
Either way.
Next lunch, I think.
Well, there you go. It's the next day. That's when Bralov was there. This is what I get for writing the recap the morning of the session.
You know what? You give yourself your inspiration, bud.
Nah, fuck you.
It's also the night now. Yeah, time.
You stop that.
No.
Gotta be honest, imagine I'm just chilling still.
Yeah, I've left you to your own devices. It's up
Mhm.
to you to count.
I'd probably
So-
be, sorry.
No, you go.
I just remembered from the previous session, if I remember, one of the things I seen was, it was a notice, or it was overhearing something about I believe it was Bard? Or traveling musician or something?
Yeah, you and Osiris both saw, which is the musician, the traveling bard, is currently on tour throughout Telnerus, but they all throughout the Amarician Empire, but they're currently stuck in Telnerus because of issues further west, or further east.
Well, I will wait for the rest of the party to see if they mention anything about it, but it has caught my interest a little. So, yeah. In the meantime, I will, as I said, be just chilling with that knowledge, and I guess listening for anything that might be related.
I forgot to add those checks in. That's okay. Roll a perception.
Hmm.
Sorry, one second. Too many tabs open. Okay. 19. You hear, as people are talking, just the general confirmation that the three big churches for Kamashi and Jingadi and Judge Tavros have now begun their recruiting phase. You know this. You didn't go through this personally, but you know that every maybe 1 or 2 years or so, they look at potential recruits from armies and or private training grounds to see if anyone fits the standards of becoming a paladin or just someone that can work with the three clergies as a whole. And you've learned that, yeah, it's just coming up again around this time this year.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's ironic that the two people in the party who would know about this naturally are both people who didn't have to experience it.
It's interesting, yes.
Yeah. Yes, it's something you learn while you're hanging out at the inn, just kind of listening to gossip going on and looking at things that pass by, reading flyers, etc.
eventually time passes, maybe 20 minutes to half an hour or so, and Annex, with Christine holding like a bunch of stuff in her hands, arrives through the door.
I guess I'd sort of like holding it, just sort of see where everyone is. Walk up, place it on the table, just pull out what I assume is mine, and then just kind of just sit down and just not really say anything about it.
Okay. You once again find the cloak of no, you got the
War Mage's wand.
wand of the
Yeah.
War Mage. Yeah, you pull out the wand. Again, black with the ruby set in the middle, as like a black wood that like sort of encroaches onto the ruby itself as if it's grasping it. That's sort of what the wand looks like when you pick that up and start like assuming attuning to it. I think that might
Yeah.
be attunement.
I believe it would need, yes.
Yeah, so you start like looking at it and start tuning to it.
So you're just getting in here, you're just kind of dumping the load in front of Jacob, and then just kind of like taking a seat and doing nothing, just kind of like sitting to your own devices.
Yeah, mainly. Like, it's just, I feel like it should probably put it down and be like, I believe this is Mardo's gifts for us. And just sort of place it down, sit down, take her thing out, and then just kind of sit there just looking at it.
Annex is a lot more. Look at this cloak. It's so cool. And she starts twirling around in front of you. Jagerba, showing off her
It is pretty.
cloak of protection. Yes.
Yeah, hers was protection.
Yes.
I already
It's
got
good that
one
everyone-
from Otto.
Yeah, you did. It's good that everyone picked different items.
Yeah.
Probably about half an hour again later, the rest of the party would probably show up with Selena, Judas. I believe Osiris had left the party.
Yeah.
He probably would have been
Yeah.
coming around
Exactly.
maybe an hour after everyone else does, unable to
Let's
find
just say for now, he's with the party, because that way, when he gets here, we can do his own thing.
Like an
Around
hour,
about
an
what-
hour or so later, he comes back after everyone else has arrived, basically unable to find where Chris. He has hints of where the bard is, but is no closer to finding than he was at the start of the day.
Around about what time is this?
Like 1:32.
I probably wouldn't come back. Personally, I'm going to stay out for a little bit longer, and then I might go and find a library.
All right, you're gonna search for a library.
Okay, so we'll just jump back in time because everyone's here is around like 4 or 5 p.m.
Okay.
at the end. So then we'll jump back to you looking for a library. Let me quickly get my notes.
I'm happy to just do a few rolls, honestly. It's nothing, like, serious.
Being the odd thumb out in the party, I'd probably just stick with Selena while she does this. Maybe give her some sort of assistance.
If you knew where I was, because last session, I went off on my own.
And remember, you were with me when we went to go get the stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Wrong's this one.
I would say, Selena, give either a basically the streetwise check, or I'd say possibly a religion check. So it'd be either a perception or religion, up to you.
Probably religion. I think that I'm proficient in religion, so I'll do that. Ugh.
11's still enough to pass this because it's not something hard, just basically a memory of things you know. And you're walking around looking for this library, and you remember something from when you were learning statecraft and whatnot back in Ghislaine before you left, and that is in Telnorus, the largest city, obviously, in the Amarician Empire. There is the Royal Amarician Reserve of Information, which is also doubled as the main, the biggest Labrana branch library on the continent.
Heck yeah.
It's in the Heavens Ward, which is basically where all the churches and shit are. So yeah, you remember this fact and you know where it is.
Sweet.
Now, if we use that statue,
It takes you about maybe half an hour or so to slowly make your way up to the Heavens Word. It's a large area that is mainly covered in small druidic parks, and also large cathedrals and churches built for everything. There's various sizes. You can see the big three pointing out once again. But this
Especially walking past, you see the Cathedral of Tavros. It stands out like a sore thumb.
But there is a lot more of a religious presence than in places like Drakazul and in Ghislaine. There's a lot more buildings as opposed to small shrines that there were in Ghislaine for each god.
Okay.
Eventually, look up probably one of the second or third largest buildings looks like large marble pillars running down. Looks like just a very old library, but without the wear and tear of age. Just marble pillars, white stone, all that, and a large symbol of Librana on the stained glass at the front.
Perfect. I will head in and probably, I'm assuming there'll be a front desk sort of desk thing.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I'll just head up to there and just ask, do you have a section that might be on prophecies? Or something along the line of religious text?
Yeah, we have the section of religious texts. Prophecies, we don't usually keep many records of it. There are old ones that have either yet to come or have passed already. But they're over here and she sort of leads you to a section.
It's not a very... the religious section she shows you is pretty big, because it's not it isn't just here's the Bible. It's it studies information about all the different gods, including a lot of the more obscure gods, some of which you've heard of, some of which you haven't. The area for prophecies you find is literally it's like one shelf that's maybe half the length. It's the end of a row, the top shelf, maybe a half dozen books on it, some of which are barely holding themselves together.
Nice.
That just means there's less for me to have to look through.
Yep. A few of you even notice there's duplicates of some of them, because it's clearly someone's copied one book before it literally falls apart.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I just want to take the time to go through them and see if I can see anything about a prophecy from 432. Or even 882, but preferably looking for that 432.
Make a investigation check. It's mainly to see how long it takes you to go through all these books.
Ugh, my rolls.
You spend a majority of the evening.
I don't think I'm going anywhere.
Is Dimitri still AFK?
Yes.
Well, Judas is with you. He said he's coming along.
Yeah.
We could say he can give you advantage by assisting you.
Unless I went back to the inn before I left, because my idea was that I was
Staying out.
I was at the river. I originally went to the river to have a little bit of alone time, and then I was thinking I was going to head towards.
Right, you left the party at the gear house.
Yeah,
Okay, so Judas can't be with you. Okay, never mind.
that's fine.
It's a majority of the time. Not because you're lacking in information, it's just that this text is written in Old English and is boring. And
That's
it's
totally
just
fair.
Dull.
And I would be trying to skim through this as slowly and carefully as I could as well, without without falling asleep.
But you don't find anything dated for the 432 or the 482 in any way.
A majority of the stuff you find is and then the soothsayer said that when the cock crows 3 times, the weather will turn and spring will be upon us. And then on the next morrow, the cock crowed 3 times and it rained.
Well, I guess I'll give up my efforts for this evening and head back to the group. But before we leave, I'm probably going to go back there again.
Actually, make an intelligence check, just a straight intelligence check.
Okay.
Natural 20. So as you're finishing up looking through these, and you put the books away back where you found them, or on a trolley for someone else to put them away, you start to leave and head out, and you realize that all those books, not a single thing they mention, even the ones that are oh yeah, these are actual prophecies that came to pass, they're all the most inconsequential shit ever. There is not a single significant prophecy amongst any of these things. It's like being public access, it's very limited.
Probably not something that you're going to find at a public library.
Even the biggest, like, this is the god of knowledge, her biggest, air quote, temple on the continent, and the prophecy section here is almost empty, and what is there is all inconsequential, useless, mostly jargon, a lot of it's supposition. This is something you can basically, with a natural 20, you can put together that you are not going to find anything significant in a to the public access area.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. I'm probably going to have to rely on Osiris to...
Or perform something illegal, that's up to you.
Yeah, which is not going to happen.
Alright, so without Osiris, you just touch the statue in a set motion.
Listen.
I think I'll just sort of hope on that Osiris finds something in the Atheneum.
Not gonna like him. If you want a way to very quickly just jump somewhere me and AJ have not prepared, just teleport with the library and we'll be like, alright, fuck.
It seems like a bad idea.
It would be horrible because it does destruction damage.
Yes, it does. And this is a bigger statue than the one you found in the last place, too.
Yeah, it is.
As probably around 8 o'clock passes, both you and Osiris start walking, sauntering up to this inn that everyone's staying at. Osiris, your luck of trying to find Chris has led you to some places, but hasn't really panned out well. But you've got the piece of information that you should try somewhere with like the ritzier hotels where you know like bards like her would stay in.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, you know from her, she's not exactly a most, she's not a gaudy individual, but she doesn't sleep in squalor.
And yeah, and eventually you two walk in and you see, is who's still in this like main room out of the four of you.
I definitely wouldn't have really moved. I had no reason to move away yet.
Of the inn itself?
Yeah,
Just at the table.
Give me a rough idea of what time this would be.
8 p.m.
like 8 p.m.
I probably would be just sitting outside at this point, actually.
You see.
Yeah, so you see them come up.
You see. Are you doing your Jakurva thing of sitting in like a windowsill, or doing like a sitting just outside on a bench?
If I can find a windowsill to sit in, I'm sitting there. If I can't, I'm sitting outside. Just outside the building.
To Selena, you can see the rough figure of Jakurva sitting on a windowsill. Osiris, your mind is way too busy with other things to worry about that. And as you go in, you see that is Judas here? Is Dimitri back?
Silence is deafening. Let's just say he's around.
He's around. You see Judas is probably at another table, probably like one over from where Christina's sitting. Annex is probably also there with a small pile of what looks like a wrapped up bundle and heavier and 2 books laying on the table.
Okay. Yeah, I just approach. So that's all the stuff that, like, from that Mardo dropped off, I'm assuming.
Yeah, you quickly caught up to speed that this is just to enough role players
when,
them.
like, I see people have, like, new items and stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of hard for Annex to hide her new cloak she's wearing, so yeah.
She's, like, probably trying to show off to everyone.
Yeah. So you see on the table there's both your payments from Mardo and an extra book as well was sitting there.
Both my payments.
Well, your payment and Osiris's payment.
Oh, right. The book. Okay. Yeah, I'll just go get my things.
Cool. You grab your cloak of the manta ray.
I feel like when I just sort of catch the attention of Osiris, I just sort of stand up and like just sort of go to him. I got another thing from this Mark you sent me to. He told me if you're looking for more deliveries to talk to him. There's a message from Mardo.
Oh, there's a message from Mardo.
Yeah, if you have more deliveries you want to talk to Mark.
Ah, okay.
So,
I assume if we want more jobs like that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, if we're strapped for cash, we know somewhere where we can guarantee more coin. Which is never a bad thing.
I don't really mind. It was just a message I wanted to pass on. I just sort of just turn back and sit down.
Thank you, Christine. You said my payment's on the tab?
Yep.
I go over and I grab it.
Yep, you see the book sitting there, and then the extra book just sitting next to it, unclaimed.
I take the unclaimed book.
Okay.
Are they thought-provoking?
So looking, you open up your book or the other one?
Either or.
So your book, yes, because it's something you were looking for quite interestingly. The other book is completely blank. It is a empty ritual spell. Looking through it and knowing, because you can cast magic, it is a completely empty spell book, pretty much prepared for ritual casting of some kind, except there is I think either nothing or next to nothing in it.
Probably like the first page is like because this book is designed for ritual spells, so it's like this one book full of just like stuff necessary to cast all rituals, sort of deal.
It's pretty much if you have the ritual caster feat, here's a free book because the person who was going to get paid it died.
Oh.
Or if
Yeah.
you're a wizard where you can just automatically cast rituals, just take the book anyway.
Hey guys, I'm back.
Good timing.
Well, I don't know what use this book can have. I suppose a spare journal is never a bad thing. I really don't need this. To the group that's in the vicinity, this can pretty much go to anyone. If my assumption is correct, it was more than likely Nerisian's payment. But he is not here to collect it. And I, for one, do not need it.
What happened to this Nerisian fellow?
He died and then got better and then left.
Oh. That's how did you find someone that powerful?
To bring someone back to life, that's on a need-to-know basis, and I'm pretty sure for now that you do not need to know. Maybe in the future, but not for now.
All you need to know is there's nothing important, really.
I'm gonna insight check the hell out of that.
Go for it.
No.
You
It's only fair if I roll deception. Never mind, it's a +7. I'm not gonna roll.
Yeah, I like the idea where you say this. You kind of narrow your eyes a bit, Judas, and the camera just pans over to Osiris, and it's just a realistic picture of a turtle.
Realistic turtle face.
Yeah.
No,
Save it.
it's that scene from The Simpsons where thing is just like, I know you can read my thoughts, boy. Meow 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 meow.
Pretty much, yeah.
I would also roll. Wouldn't really be deception. I'm not lying, but
Persuasion.
persuasion.
I'd say deception because you're avoiding the truth.
Mine was definitely
They
deception.
are all +7.
Yeah, you can't fail this. It's like, I don't know why we're bothering.
Yeah.
I'll do it anyway.
Hey, look at that, you passed.
You know what? Fine, I'll do it as well.
Hey, look at that, you passed. So you're just gonna put the book back down, Osiris?
Yeah, I'll put the book back down.
Alright, do me a favor and make a wisdom saving throw.
Ooh.
Oh, yikes.
Is this any mind-altering / rewrite effect?
No. Yeah, it's not a you know what? Yes, but no, because it's not a rewrite effect, but it is a mind altering one, so you can roll with advantage. Thank God you did. So as you go to pull the book back down, you feel like a tugging in the back of your mind, like something moving around restlessly, and you just feel this like urge to like not discard this blank text for some reason, and then you just toss it down.
Does it feel like a malicious intent?
Nope. It's just something like restless in the back of your mind. That's kind of like reaching for the empty, like an empty tome that could contain whoever, like whatever knows what.
Was
I
that,
keep the book instead.
Okay.
was that book? Oh, so you don't throw it on the floor, or do you?
No, I was putting it down on the table, but I
Okay.
will take it back at that.
Okay. So you feel that stirring, you go to put it down, you stop, and you decide to keep it instead. Okay.
So I'll just. Oh, it's already there. Cool.
So, how was your tour? And I gesture politely towards the giant fuck off cat man and the turtle. How was your little trip in the town?
Is
I don't know. I
Jacoba
wasn't really here
downstairs?
for it. It's literally just Osiris in this case.
You want
Uh,
Yeah. Again, yeah, you spent all day looking for Crescendo. Basically, you found some bits and pieces of information that she's probably in one of the Ritzer hotels, and you learned that they sort of end up in the Sky Ward more than anything.
Yeah, it's like searching for a single person in a town that's more sprawling than Ghislaine. It was a lot of walking around going, hey, do you know where this person's staying? And people going, no. Or, yeah, I've heard of them. I think they're over this place. And just following lead after lead until you gave up because it was late at night.
Okay. Unsuccessful in my endeavors, but
It's like you didn't meet her
Why-
today, but you've made progress. Yeah.
Well, frankly, apart from Andavine, this is probably the biggest city I've ever been in. And I think Andavine's bigger.
you should go to
Oh,
Drakazul.
small. I've actually been meaning to go there. Is it any good?
Overpopulated.
That is always a problem. So, did you get anything helpful from what you found?
Was that to
Not
me?
You seem like you're
This is-
fishing for information.
I'm a detective, can you blame me?
Yes.
I probably should have seen that one coming. I'm trying to, as my boss would tell me to, chill the fuck out. Like, literally, the day I met you was my first day on the fucking job. I'm just trying to acclimate to society, as they would say. That's what they say, right? I'm not going crazy.
People would choose different vernacular, but I suppose. There's a lot of tension here. I'm gonna like not worry about this for now.
Okay.
I'm just going to approach us. Are you like walking away, Cyrus?
8 o'clock. That's around dinner time. We're in an inn that provides food, I assume.
Yeah.
No, I'm not walking away. I'll go order something to eat.
I might follow you up to the ordering place and just like quietly ask to the side. Have you had any luck with the thing I asked you to look for?
So far, not a great deal. It
I
is
have a little
either
bit more
very hard to
information now.
find or very well guarded.
Well, we have 2 dates now. So anything between... Where are we again? Hang on. I knew it, and I like scrolled down and it's not there now. Ugh. God damn.
You say it once and it just leaves your brain.
Yep. Not only 882, but apparently it was originally spoken in 432. I just tried to look at the library before, but I don't think I'm going to find anything where the public can see.
So 500 years ago.
Yeah, apparently. And yeah, 882.
And 882.
Yes, it was spoken twice.
So 20 to 30 years ago.
Yes.
maybe that might narrow it down and make it a little bit easier. I'll have another look tonight to see what I find.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'm gonna order some food.
Yeah, you just see like there's a human man in it. Looks like he's about early mid 40s, standing behind the bar / like main counter there. It's just like basically just been looking at you all because you all take up a majority. It's like a lot of the patrons are humans or Genasi because it's the most common races around here. And then there's just a turtle, a lion, a bird, a hobgoblin, which is like it's a lot of different things for this man.
That's
Some
two
humans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see how I didn't? Do you hear the part where I didn't mention either of you two? Because that's not what he's looking at.
We have a
Probably
human
humans.
that has like interesting contacts and eye makeup, and then we have another human.
They don't judge. Exactly, humans in quotes.
Yeah, we got a human with like eye makeup and a human with like again also contacts sometimes.
Hello,
Yes.
it's like human.
Yeah, the man standing there is like behind the counters, looks at you all, like looking over you all. You walk up to order food, is like, "Hey, what can I get you, miss?"
I'm a man, actually.
You know, couldn't tell the difference.
Wow.
You prick.
Ow!
Sorry, I don't know the features that differentiate your people. No mean to be rude, but I'm not a far-traveled man myself.
I suppose I cannot blame you.
What would you suggest for a
Well,
nice healthy meal?
healthy. We got lots of stuff. We got stews. We got curries. We got fish. A lot of fish. There's a lot of fish.
I have a question. Is the stew prepared by someone named Stu?
No.
Fantastic.
Stew's made.
Oh, that broke me.
Just laughing. No, the stew's made by my wife. She's the cook.
Well, I think this stew sounds lovely. I'll have that, please.
Okay, I'll get that for you. And he turns and he's like, "Yeah, for you, Turtle Man."
The same will be fine.
Okay, cool. He turns and like leaves, and as you see him leave, like the door back area like, swings open, and you see like a fire genasi woman in the back room, like cooking away at some stuff. He gives a quick quick shout out to her. She waves, and he comes back. It's like it'll be about 5 minutes. I gotta ask, you all look you're not from around here, clearly.
Clearly.
I was wondering where y'all from?
I feel like we're all from complete different parts of the world, really.
You familiar with the Concordant?
By name, not by not by my own experiences.
I assumed. You said you were not very well traveled. Well, that's
No, I leave that to my great grandpa and my son.
Well, you best be careful. It is dangerous.
I wouldn't know. But hope you all have a good night. And he like about this time the food shows up and he passes it off to you all. He keeps like looking over the bunch of you because you're just a bunch of unique individuals, but it's not like suspicion. It's just you all catch the eye.
You weird.
I'm very
Yeah.
curious.
I just give a
Especially Judas. But that's a more like, most people are just like, hobgoblins aren't good people. That kind of thing.
But also I.
Casual racism.
Yeah, it's the confusion
Yes,
because he's
right.
also wearing a symbol of the eye, and then it's like,
Yeah.
oh, he's a cop. So it's like, it's
Oh.
like a
Is it like an Italian mobs? Is it like an Italian policeman in like early 70s New York, where? Or
Not really.
We're walking lines.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, you get your food.
You're
Whoever
being
wants to-
racist while I'm gone.
Yeah.
Maybe, but yeah, you'll get your food. You eat it unless anyone else has something they want to do for the rest of the night. You can skip to the next morning.
Yeah, I don't have anything exciting to do.
just assume that I'm always casting alarm in my room, and it'll be silent.
This time.
Maybe. You got
I'd
me
like to
doubting
do my
myself.
thing.
Yep, cool. You settle down to sleep to do your thing. Anyone else doing a thing?
No, I'm just gonna sleep.
I don't think I have a thing per se, but it's probably just more so trying to relax myself before going to bed.
Furious typing
Furious communication.
always makes me nervous.
You just let it happen at this point. There's no point being nervous. They'll still stab you in the front.
I'm still recovering from the last D&D session.
I've never recovered since June. Pain.
Alright, well. Yeah, so everyone settles down to sleep. Osiris, you do your usual thing where you enter that kind of trance-like meditation state while you're sleeping, and your mind drifts over to the Atheneum, where you can begin your search for the text you're looking for. I'm assuming you're looking for information about the prophecy or something?
Yep.
Cool. While you're there, you're looking around. It takes you a while to go through, but you've already spent multiple nights searching for the same information without coming up with anything. And for a long time, you feel like today is going to be the same, where you're hunting through texts and documents, but you don't seem to be making any headway. Eventually, you drift over to a different section of the library, one that is more, because you remember the dates that Selena told you about when the prophecy was spoken. And this area is like a records where they track when information was deposited into the Atheneum, and you spend about half an hour leafing through that when something does catch your eye. You're looking through many, many lists of people, and it really just every name of book you can possibly imagine and people who put in there. And then you stop as there is a large black mark across a name of a text. On the 882, there is something was deposited into the Atheneum, but its name has been removed from the record. But it does say who deposited it into the Atheneum. This item on the 882 was deposited by the seeker, Chris Sender.
What?
Ah!
Okay. Alright.
Oh, okay.
Alright.
What?
Redacted.
That's awesome.
Yikes.
That makes me curious. If I'm able to, once I come across this information, to see... Oh god, names. I love names. Hang on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know who you're on about. You want to go, yeah. See
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Yeah.
I would
I
like to go
also
see
forgot
the
his name.
dude.
The guy at the front desk.
Yeah. Something M. It begins with an M. Is the one.
Mikhail.
Mikhail, yes.
See, I do have it
Franklin.
down.
Is
been
yeah,
too
you
long.
go see Mikhail, his like shaved head in his vestment garb robes thing. He's got like half reading glasses on, you know, the ones that only got like not full glasses but the half ones.
The half moons.
Yeah, and he's sort of like on one hand he's reading through, like he's getting a book and he's writing down the title, seemingly to enter these records that you just saw searching through, but for like current.
I wait until he is ready.
He probably gets like 2 or 3 done and then notices you're there and quickly like finishes like writing up this last one and takes his glasses off and looks towards you and is like, yes?
I have a question, Mikhail.
Mhm.
Is it commonplace for information to be redacted here?
Not necessarily. He looks to us like, even us at the highest level of Librana's service, we don't redact any files as it's not one of her tenants. So if anything is redacted, it would be from Librana herself.
Fuck.
See ya!
I assume she's not available today then. Tonight, at the moment. Time is weird.
She very rarely meets with people. I can put in a request to see if she would meet with you at some later date, but for now she chooses to go about as she please and which knowledge to share.
By the way, did you know that she, when I came back with all those texts, that she took a particular book about, was it Beholder? Hang on, I've got this written down. Let me find it.
In the eyes of the beholder, something like that.
As he sort of looks around at like everyone else, and he sort of gets up and leans in and is like, the mistress has unique tastes that remained from her time as immortal. And he sits back down.
Okay, sure.
I suppose I shouldn't be one to judge. I just find it interesting that such a god would be fascinated with that kind of, I want to say, kink.
But also,
Okay. Thank you for your time, Mikael.
No problem. And he returns back to it adding more of these texts in.
So was there only the one date from 882? I didn't find anything about 400 and whatever it was.
That's just when you saw that one, you stopped because it like drew your attention. You can go back and spend more time flicking all the way back to there. It is a very comprehensive record system, so you can find it, but it will take you time.
It's one of those Excel sheets where you start like you open it up and it's at the bottom and you're like, why is this on like A7? Like, what the fuck?
Can I use the Control F function?
don't say that to me. I hate
That's called legend lore.
It is called Legend Lore.
It is.
We'll get there.
Control F this year.
So yeah,
Okay. I will go back and make a start going back that far. And
You can mainly skip up through the years. You're like, oh, this is still year 800. No, I need more than that. So you just start looking at like the topmost sheet to start looking at like, let's drop it down to 400, and eventually you can get to the year you want from there. Roll another investigation, just because you had a lot of information bombard you. Okay, with the 16, you find the number you're looking for, but there doesn't seem to be any records of that year very much important. It's like there is records of books and stuff, but there's nothing that's like redacted or anything of note.
okay. So if I just look on that, which is a solid lead.
Yeah.
yeah, you have a very solid lead, it feels.
Fuck yeah.
Holy
Cool.
shit.
21 sessions. You know, not too bad.
It's happening.
Yeah. But is it?
It's a long
No.
Eventually.
So yeah,
everyone-
the next morning comes.
Excellent. Yeah, I'll do my usual, get up bright and early and just like have a nice healthy breakfast and wait for the rest of the group to get together.
Come down relatively early.
I like when as you go like walk down the stairs or whatever, you notice like Selena's like trying not to look like eager. Sort of looks over, like smiles, and then sort of just keeps eating.
I have a sad expression and just shake my head at her when she sees me.
Sort of like notices that, kind of like smiles again and just nods, like assumes like it's gonna take a long time.
Yeah. Well, I have not. I'll sit down at the table. Get something to it. It has. I found something.
Oh?
But I need to fact check before I have any guarantees. So perhaps just don't get your hopes up, but there is hope there.
Oh, that's good. What kind of thing did you find?
I have found a redaction in the name.
I'm guessing that's not something that happens very commonly.
The only person who does that is the goddess herself.
Oh.
How's it going, everybody?
Oh, good. Yourself?
Mine.
Not too bad. You seem to be having trouble finding something. Could I perhaps be of assistance?
It's just some...
Technically, no.
I've been checking the library for a few different books, and I was asking Osiris about a few things he may have read in the past, and unfortunately we haven't really found anything. It's just some old history stuff. Nothing too exciting.
Well, I am fairly old, but probably not as old as the Toto.
It's mostly
would
just on the
assume not.
Devaja trials. I can't remember if I even spoke to Judas about the Devaja trials.
Shrug.
Would I put a roll of religion check to see if I know what the fuck they are?
You can try.
You can
Roll
damn
with disadvantage.
well try. And then somehow get 2 20s because why not?
It's possible.
I feel like at this point I'd also start to head my
It'd be
way
nice
down
if
as well.
someone actually knew.
You, as a hobgoblin, don't necessarily. You weren't raised on worship at all. And since then, you've only, started now beginning to learn about the gods, which means your whole scope of this stuff is mainly the new gods and the big three sort of deal. And the Devaja trials are a very much old thing. So you try to recall bits from your training, but you don't get much.
At this point, I would just like to make my way down as well. Just get some food, sit down.
Unfortunately, I'm very new to faith, so
Not many people know about Devaja
yeah,
and trials.
I know mainly about the new gods and the big three. Sadly, that would be my
Well,
expertise.
all of this sort of dates back to before New World, and a lot of it is lost as well, so it's mostly around the, I believe a lot of it is around the God of Magic, and hence why we're trying to find information on it. It's rather hard to come by.
Ah. So is finding the knowledge part of these trials?
I know a few possible locations, but other than that,
Need the knowledge to find the trials.
yeah. In fact, I think at some point today I might head back to that library and see if I can learn a little bit more about possible locations.
I've been meaning to hit up as the kids say that the temple of Tavros. Heard it's very educational going there. Always wanted to see new places.
Well, nobody's restricting you from going to do what you want.
I do need to remind you, Brailov wants to do that thing today. If you want to, I think it was at noon?
It was in the
Oh
dark.
yes.
He wanted
Yeah.
dinner, lunch, after.
Oh,
Lunch.
He wanted dinner. He wants this in the afternoon.
Now it's dinner.
Okay, so sorry, I had someone come in. Braylov needed what?
Uh,
He wanted to catch up for dinner.
yeah.
Oh,
because we met Bralov in the gear house, enchanting place. And he was like, hey, after everything was done, I was like, hey, we should meet up because, a lot has happened since we last met. I want to know.
Did he give us a specific time?
I think he gave you a time and a place.
Okay, cool.
He did give us a place in the
It's
dock.
in the dock ward, and like 6 p.m.ish, like the deal.
Okay. Well, before then, I might go to the library for a little while.
The Broken Peddler.
I would accompany you, but I have some errands I need to run.
Oh, that's fine. There's going to be some very dry reading.
Reading can be dry.
Hey, what did you just say then?
He said
I
reading
would
can be
certainly
dry.
hope so. Wet reading would cause soggy pages, which would be problematic. Cause the ink to dry.
Listen, there's multiple jokes we can make here. Let's just roll on to the next scene.
You want to kick on?
What are you doing, Jacobo?
Instead of going downstairs, I'm opening my window, going out it. I assume I was only on like the second story, so I imagine I can get down relatively safe.
Sure.
And I'm going for a morning run towards. I'm trying to remember. Is this a town that did have the docks?
Yeah, this town has a docks.
Is this the one where I threw her in the water, or is that a different one?
Different town.
That was,
Just making sure.
That was LOL.
No, just need to make sure.
Nothing bad happened.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for a morning run. I guess along the dock line.
Okay.
I'm gonna, go there, not tell anyone, just climb out the window like I normally do.
You start making your way to the dock ward. It's probably about, we'll just say each ward is probably half an hour from your general position at the moment.
Yeah, the inn you guys are staying in is in the market ward, which is pretty much dead center in the middle of the city.
Okay.
If there's a fish market there, I'll probably stop at some point to check that out. But
There'd be more one closer to the docks than. There'll probably be some, but like you're like they're opening up and you're getting out of the window. So
yeah, that's fine. Just putting that out there as well.
as you make your way to the thing, you start jogging along the coastline. It's a bit of a cove. I'm pretty sure from the map. Let me have a look. I think it coves in around there. So-
No, actually, it's on the peninsula. It's like on an outstretch of land.
Just in the outstretch, yeah. So you run around what is pretty much a beach.
Sounds
for
good to me.
A decent amount of time. As everyone starts splitting off. Who hasn't said where they're going yet? What's Christine and Judas doing?
Judas is gonna go to the big fuck off temple.
Okay, and Christine.
I feel like if Sarah said he's gonna do something, I'm just gonna speak up that. You wouldn't mind just someone extra along, or do you need to do this alone?
Was that towards me? Sorry. You
Yeah,
were
sorry,
very
sorry.
quiet. By all means.
Alright, there's 3 separate parties. We'll do a size because his one roll initiative just so he can determine order of events.
Hey. The only time I roll high.
Alright, tip
Right.
top, Celine.
Well, I'm going to go back to that library, and I want to look up a few different locations.
Okay, which locations
Let
are you
me
looking for?
just quickly get into my notes and find the specific names. This is what I was originally going to do, and then I derped out and thought just prophecy. So
Yeah.
glad I
Good.
remembered. Ugh, one sec. Okay. I want to look up the Vaults of Sonaris, or anything that's got the name Soulforge in it.
Okay.
And I would like to look up anything about the Weave Tower.
All right, roll 2 investigation checks, 1 with disadvantage.
Okay.
The Weave Tower is just a superimposed name for a tailor.
It's a Goliath tailor. They call him the Weave Tower because it's fucking huge.
I like my rolls today. They're just
That's
fantastic.
The first one is you're not going to get super much information. It's a pass, but like you're not going to get everything. It's
That's
well
fine.
known that during the war with between Sonaris and whoever they were fighting, that they, and even before the war, they employed the uses of Warforged, and it became a huge political thing where people were, like, actual souls from humans were being put into the forges. And some people decided to make their own souls, or like make fake souls to put into these metallic and wooden bodies. And for both instances, they needed something to do that. And that resulted in what people now call the Soul Forge. You don't get where it is in Samaria or the old Samaria, or anything about that, but that's just a general broad topic that you can find pretty easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm assuming this, like, both of searching these things is probably going to take the majority of my time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially the second one.
Yeah.
Like, you spend a lot of time finding nothing.
That is fair.
Yeah, there's not a single reference that you find to the Weave Tower or anything like that. It could just be because you're looking in the wrong spots, or it could be there's nothing. You have no idea.
It could be something that's just not well known about as well. I mean, it's in the wastes, so I wasn't super hopeful. I don't think any of the other things I really need to... there's nothing with, like, specific names on it, so I'll take from that what I will. And that's all I need to do.
Right. And we'll flick on to the next one, which I believe was Judas.
Judas, yeah, you sort of travel with Selena for the most part, going up, and then you split off, diverging. You start heading to what is, like, once again, like most major cities have this little courtyard that is the big three, with life on one side, Judge Tavros in the middle, and death on the other. And you walk straight on forward into the probably the second largest church to Judge Tavros you know of, the first being where the Pope of the Faith is, the will of Tavros resides. That is in the Amarician Empire, but it's not in this town. In this city.
Yeah, you enter the you approach the Cathedral of Tavros. I'm assuming you're going in?
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the architecture first.
It is a very imposing building. It has that semi-Gothic architecture on the outside with the large pillars at the front. It looks like a mix between like a judge house and a cathedral, even to the point of having it has like gargoyle-like figurines and stuff carved in like way up in the air. And it's so high up you can't even make out what they probably are, or it could be they're so old they've worn down to next to nothing.
So it's a mix of a courtroom and a cathedral.
Like from the outside, when you're walking up, that's what it seems like. It's like a big, wide, staircase going up that leads in this large, overhanged area with pillars and these huge double doors in the center. That as you pass through, the inside of it is more like a standard cathedral with the pewed areas and the large altar at the front. Except instead of an altar, it's like a judge's podium area with spaces for either side for the witness and for the person, the note taker. And there's basically areas set up as if it was it's again a mix between a church and a literal court.
I take it there's some sort of front desk man.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Just open straight into it. It's this huge, big structure. You see there are doors off to the sides, way down there. So there are other areas attached to it, but this is just the main one big room. From what you know of being a part of the church yourself, almost never does the actual court here get used. The only times it does are for incredibly high-profile judgments. It probably hasn't even been used in the last 100 years.
So for something like regicide, maybe?
Pretty much, yeah. That would be one that would go up there. It's the pews are huge, hundreds of people can be in attendance to watch, and it's done in public in front of everyone. And in those situations, usually it's either the will of Tavros or the voice of Tavros who presides as judge.
Okay. Are there any other eyes hanging about?
Make a perception check.
Yeah.
Yeah, after walking in. Aye?
Make a perception.
Oh, make a perception. Okay.
Yep.
Sorry.
Nothing in his life is free.
Exactly. It's a 10. As you're walking in, you notice there are a lot of people milling around. A few of them you do see are eyes. Almost immediately, like you notice there's some with full regalia and stuff like that. You know, this place has a near permanent presence of at least some. But almost everyone here is dressed in the colors of the priests of Tavros, not the eyes. But you do see a few.
So the vestments rather than the armor.
Yeah, it's like there's two different colored vestments. The priests wear one, the eyes wear another. So you see some in both, but like you can spot out the eyes. Some of which are armed, but most of which are wearing just their vestments as well.
Yeah. Come on. I will go and approach. I'll go and approach an eye.
In armor or out of armor?
I'll say in armor, then out of armor. I'll go and approach two eyes.
Okay. So you approach one of the ones who's fully dressed in their full regalia. He's standing like post by a door.
Greetings. How do you do? I'm coming from the Absalom. I just basically finished basic training. I was just hoping to, take in everything. You wouldn't happen to know if there was a records room of something?
Is there a particular thing you're looking to look up? Sorry. You new? First time in the city?
Yes, actually.
It's good to see more faces around here. I would show you myself, but I am literally like show throws a thumb over her shoulder to the door. It's like job at the moment. Records. Anything you're looking for directly? Is it like court cases or like what are you up to? What do you handle? I can at least point you to someone who might know.
Probably past transcripts.
What was that?
Past transcripts. A stenographer would probably.
Yeah. If you're looking for a specific case, you can go talk to any point. You do like a group, off to one side. It's near kind of near the back, but off in the corner. It's like a smaller door where you see a handful of eyes, like people wearing the eye vestments, but dressed in not armor.
Okay.
Having a conversation off to one area, like one side.
Well, thank you very much. For your help. This is a majestic building. I've never seen one quite like it before. Actually, it's quite refreshing. Actually, I'll leave it to your business.
Happy hunting. And as you start walking away, he just gives you a little salute, like the equivalent the eyes would do.
I will also salute back, giving the man the respect he deserves.
Yep.
And then I will go to the vestment wearing eyes where you pointed me out to.
Yep. There's just three of them talking. When you walk up, they quieten down and they turn to look at you, and there's can we help you with something?
Yes, hello. I just basically got that basic training. My superior said it's probably best for me to take in the culture and do a little bit of out of Absalom training. The basic process of just.
He's nodding. This makes sense. When you finish your training, you go out to different areas and you can look at how they do things. Yeah. He's like, yeah,
so
absolutely.
basically that.
Are you looking at any particular type of case?
Not any case in particular. Maybe I just want to read some of the court transcripts from Absalom.
You'd have to get them in Absalom.
Oh, that'd be an Absalom. There's not a copy here.
While we do keep some high-profile cases in multiple locations for study and the other purpose, we don't have a lot on hand. Mostly we just keep transcripts of the cases in Telnorus itself.
Mainly, each city's got their own. Think of a city as a district sort of deal. We've got all the cases that concern Telnorus and their outsiding areas for about a day and a half out. Again, yeah, we have training documents, but you might have already gone through them.
Probably.
Is there any outstanding warrants on anybody that I could probably assist with? I'd like to bank myself a views while I'm in town.
How long are you going to be in town for?
I think 3 or 4 days.
We could have a look and see, but I don't believe a lot of activity is happening here. A lot of attention has been drawn east. You probably heard.
I don't think I actually have. Please enlighten me. Literally, I'm.
There's been some civil unrest starting in LOL.
The governor was assassinated.
A group of protesters been making claims against the Queen, and most of our men have been sent to dispatch on the investigation and keeping the peace down in Sonaris as it starts to making their way down there.
Some were called out to try and deal with the assassination itself and figure out who did that, but I wouldn't know that's all happening that way. Then there's a few strange cases we're hearing over here and there.
Strange ones?
Well, only really 2 that have caught our attention, really. There's been 2 missing persons, which have come up completely empty at the moment, which is not common. LOL, we didn't expect to find anything because of everything going on right now. There's actually dozens of them, but we at least have information on some of them. But in Andivine, there's a man who's gone missing. We don't know where he's gone at all.
What's the name of this man?
Russell Perkins, who's looks like he's an enchanter by trade. He seems to turn around and actually pick up these manila
Like a ledger or something, yeah.
Yeah, he's opening it. Yeah, he's been missing for about 3 months now. Type of person to stay in their tower enchanting.
At this point, we presume he's probably dead, but at least we're trying to find who did it.
I've got to head up back to Absalom anyway, so that's probably in my direction. I could probably take a look at it if you want.
Well, the officer on that case is Marcy, Officer Marcy. You can try and get some experience with her, but, play your hand correctly. She'll let you help out for a little bit your time in there, but other than that...
If you don't have another case at the moment, you're always willing to try and help out. Just just go there and maybe seek her out. Ask questions. If you find anything yourself, be sure to check in. If there's any records you want to look to, he literally leads you through the door at the back.
Yeah.
You guys, I'm assuming you've been walking and talking at least for a little bit, because there's
of course.
the doorway through here leads a long kind of demo corridor, and you're passing kind of vaultish rooms where the doors are more barred, but you can see through them completely, and none of them are locked though. And as you're walking, he just each of these different rooms off the side are just record rooms. But as he said, they're all pretty much for cases in Telnorus.
As you're walking past, the other ones is even if you don't think it's helping, asking someone to repeat evidence and stuff is usually a good idea. They can get brain blasts if they spend too much on a case, only thinking about that, they seem to miss information sometimes. So going slowly, recapturing all the information, good idea.
And who knows, maybe the person was lying in the first place and you'll slip them up.
Yeah. I've, my, handler, has, not, my, Guarapoto kind of, tries and, gets me to do that, but I'm not that good yet. Hopefully I can be as good as Jake.
We've all got to learn someday.
Who's your commander?
Jake.
Jake? Oh! Him. Yeah, I know him. Well known. High ranking. That's all I know.
Hasn't done much in a little while, but hey, everyone has slumps.
Well, thank you very much. I think I'll just, for now, possibly lead to some recent transcripts, see how you guys do things here. I take it there's no actual court cases being held today?
None today, no, unfortunately.
Okay, I was hoping to observe, but maybe
No, the main room we'd have for this stuff is currently booked for some other matters, but it's other things entirely.
Thank you very much, and I do a nice, humble nod and bow, give them the salute, and I will just peruse their
They do the
records.
half-cock, two-finger, like, salute.
Variant.
And walk
Yeah.
off.
Yes, they leave you basically to go through and look through information to read up. It's just court cases. How interesting you find them depends on how interesting Judas would find.
Yeah, it's all about just, there's robberies, there's a couple break-ins. The most interesting was, like, misconduct with a magical item. But other than that, standard, gruesome murder affairs.
Could I, from these particular transcripts, try and find any mishandlings in the mishandlings on purpose or otherwise in any of these cases?
So you're looking at the transcripts. You're thinking, okay.
I'm
I get what you're going for. Make an investigation check.
Are you looking for, like, gavel work?
Yeah,
Yeah.
work.
Going through the files, even the more ones that you think are higher, like priority, or like even ones that might have been overlooked, you spend a few hours flicking through this stuff and looking. You don't find anything that's like, oh, clearly this person was unjustly dealt with. You're not sure whether that's because you just haven't found anything, or because if they did that, the reports would probably show something else, maybe. But who knows?
Well, I'll probably spend my time there until it's time to go back and meet with the others.
Yeah, we'll say like you pass the time. That's pretty much unfortunately, you don't find anything. Eventually, time comes to leave, and you start making your way back out. As you go through the doors, you notice that the cathedral is actually a lot busier as you start to leave, as there is a lot of people in the Tavros. Not a lot, but maybe like a half dozen people in Tavros attire, like armor, not just like the eyes, but like priests, like priest colors as well. And then you see 3 who are wearing Jingadi colors and 3 who are wearing Kamashin colors as well.
I'm gonna go and approach one.
As you start making your way towards them, that guard from the one who you talked to earlier, the other eye, literally just like kind of like grabs you by the shoulder a bit and like holds you back.
Yeah,
He's like stops you from like walking into the middle of this area where these people are all approaching down.
Yep.
It's just you're eager, but this is a whole thing.
Okay. So a bit above my pay grade.
Yeah, pretty much. You basically watch these like all these armed individuals walking down the area. In the center of each of these like groups, 3 people who are wearing what look like priest attire. One, if I've scrolled straight past where they were, so AJ.
One is a Goliath. He's about probably about 6'5". He's wearing very like tight thing compared to the other 2. One looks like a Furbolg, the male Furbolg. He's wearing the
Kamashian robes.
Kamashian robes, and then you see a frill-necked lizard folk woman wearing the Jingadi robes. They all seem a lot more grander than the normal standard clergy robes for the 3 of their groups. They look a little more like they're higher up on the food chain sort of deal. And like they all seem to be like
able to tell what rank.
From a glance, the only one you can really tell would be Tavros. Just roll a religion check with advantage.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's not like this isn't like a cardinal or something, but you can immediately see this man is a very senior position. You can go, AJ.
you know that the highest rank of the Tavros faith is the will, and then you know that the will has two subordinates that work underneath him. He looks like not one of those subordinates, but probably someone that directly goes to those two levels. So probably like third on the food chain sort of deal.
So like an archbishop or something.
Maybe the equivalent. Yeah, he's probably a report. He reports directly. You'd think to the voice of Tavros, which is the priest side of things.
Well, you know that you go to the hand of Tavros, which is the investigator side.
Yeah, you see these like armed escort and these three individuals approaching. As they make their way down, they appear to be in like they're very stoic and they're not talking or saying anything as they walk down. And they lead to these like large doors at the back where the escort kind of fans into a semicircle around the entrance, and they go in. The doors close, and then immediately like people spread out and go back to their own business as these three individuals descend deeper into the church or the cathedral.
Forgive me for being so new, but I know us three big churches kind of work in tandem sometimes, but those look like some pretty higher ups.
Right, new in town. Those are that's the counselor. They don't know him.
Of the divine rights. Is his title.
He's the speaker of the divine rights. High priest Clephos. What's his name? I've completely lost my notes. I'm like scrolling up and down trying to find this shit.
Clephos. I just had it in the script as well. Clephos, Oathbearer. Oathbearer. Bearer of Oaths.
Yeah, he's like, he's just like the representative of the religious kind of things for statecraft and all. I don't know. That's a him thing. He's just like, it's him and two advisors, one from each of the other churches.
Okay. Well, I think I've had my fun for the day. I believe I rubbed my beard on my... Was it today or tomorrow I was meant to pick that up? Probably today. Yeah. Well, thank you very much. Salute. Walk out.
Yep, Igor. That's it. You start making your way back to wherever you're going. We'll cut across to the next person in line.
Alright, which one of you wants to go now?
Jakova or
I'm
Osiris?
fine to go last.
Okay.
You make your way to the Sky Ward with Christine.
Yeah.
I was hoping to pass by the Enchanter's place first.
The gear house?
Yeah.
Okay. You quickly make a stop to the gear house. You go through the same process of them giving you to someone. You once again met with Bralov and Shova as you explain what you want to explain to them.
Good evening. Morning. It's morning. It's early in the morning.
Morning.
I was hoping you might be able to help me. I've got these 4 large nails on me, and I'm hoping you might be able to enchant some... I think it would technically be conjuration magic into them in order to help me with a spell that I've been hoping to fully grasp later on.
What's the spell?
Are you familiar with Golder's Tower?
Heard of it? Yeah.
I want to make these so I'm able to alter the rooms while the conjuration is still active.
Shova's looking at them. Brailov is sort of just thinking. We'll have to get someone in to help us with this. Can't cast it ourselves, but shouldn't be too difficult. Well, what rooms do you want to be able to switch into is probably the way we're going to have to inscribe these.
Mostly able to change into the bathroom
Yep.
And let me quickly get the spell up. If I can do another one. What would that roughly run me if you can give me an estimate?
We're not really enchanters here. To be honest, just tell me what rooms, because we'll have to find someone that's decent enough at both conjuration and transmutation and can cast a spell. I know that there is people that are just not here. And Shaver speaks up, it's like, yeah, if you just figure out what you want, and come by sometime tomorrow, or if we get it done tonight, Bralov can tell you. But yeah, if you know what you want, we'll be able to find someone for you. They'll be able to price it better than us.
Yeah, I'd be happy with just the one room enchantment.
Picks up the one of the nails then. Yep, we'll keep this, you keep the rest, and we'll get looking. Let you know as soon as possible.
Fantastic. Thank you for your time.
Right, yeah.
Walk out.
You make your way out.
What do you call the Sky District?
Skyward.
Skyward.
As you make your way up to the Skyward, you see that the buildings become a lot more like classy, a lot more for like nobility and stuff like that. You also see above it is the Crown Ward, where the Skystone Castle lies, where the royal family lives. As you're looking around, you see a myriad of high-class restaurants, theaters, and all that stuff, and a few very like ritzy hotel-esque buildings. What are you gonna do?
How big is this place, roughly speaking?
Skyward? Big. It's not big as in like, oh, there's shitloads of buildings and houses. It's big because this is where the expensive people live, and the expensive people with expensive tastes come to stay.
The expensive people.
Yep. The rich people who have lots of money. It's like large houses. While they're not going to be like a whole estate, it's like it's a big house with like a decent garden, or like a really good, and like a very good looking, like there's an inn here which has like outbuildings where people might have their own exclusive like building to sleep in, except for like instead of like a singular room or something.
That's neat.
Would it be fair to assume that I would be relatively familiar with her instrument of choice?
Yes.
I wish to start walking the district with locate objects up on said instrument.
Okay. Yeah, I'm assuming AJ, you'd agree. He knows what her instrument. She had it when she was training, when she was teaching you. So that's not even a case of like you have to roll for anything. You just have it happen, and it isn't immediate. But while you're walking around with that up, you get a ping after not very long, and you can follow it, and it leads you to this large, very lavish-looking establishment. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. This very much fits her tastes.
Yeah.
As you start walking in, you know the name of the building is the Golden Grove.
Okay, so is this like an inn, a performing theatre?
It's
What is it?
It's a hotel.
That's a hotel.
A large
Yeah, it's like
upward building.
yeah, it's got about 5 or 6 stories. On top of that, like you can see, it has a lot of grounds behind it as well. The name of the grove is it's got a lot of nature-based shit going on around it. I'm assuming you go inside?
I do.
Yeah, you go inside. It's like a lobby to a hotel where it's a big, pretty much empty room with a few chairs, and then just a desk with just 2 people standing there, both dressed up in like very official-looking clothing.
Now for the hard part. I approach the desk and
What?
I wait patient.
Yeah, you see this like very snarky, very. Oh, what do you want?
Oh, good.
That was just 2 brain cells. Okay.
No, don't be rude to them. They could be here for some important reason. Maybe they need a bath.
No, they can
Mine
afford a
is
bath.
narrow.
Excuse me, friend. Yeah, the... how do I say this politely? The extent of my wealth is far beyond what you expect. But I'm not here to debate that fact. I'm hoping that you might be able to assist me. I, at the very least, would love if you could pass on a message to one Chris Sendo and let her know that her star pupil would request a moment of her time.
You think that you, a star pupil of the great Crescendo, you think that some random turtle can just walk in here and say that they know this lady?
Why not ask her at least?
Prove me wrong.
Well then, will I have your name, please, then?
Osiris.
Alright.
Osiris what?
Osiris Leatherneck, if you really must need a last name.
Thank you very much.
He like seems to pick up a rock very similar to the ones that you've got. Raise it so it says like, hello, Miss Crescendo. It says you have your star pupil, Cyrus Leatherback, is here to see you. Can you please confirm or deny if you know this person? You see, he's got this like very pompous look, and then like it suddenly starts to.
I cross my arms in that like smug, yeah, you're about to be proven
Yeah,
wrong.
Suddenly,
Yeah.
suddenly,
You watch his facial expression go through several shifts where he goes from like, this'll never be a thing to, okay, she's talking. Okay, she's not saying kick him out.
At that
Okay,
point,
this-
I feel like I'd start to have a bit of a smirk, like, shit,
The other
look at
one
that.
hasn't looked over. They're still looking at you with this smug expression like, yeah, this is never gonna work.
I'll just...
she's in room 551. I apologize profusely. Oh.
Thank you for your time. And I
that's
head in that
amazing.
direction.
Thank you.
Yeah, the other
very
one
much
just-
for the-
That felt so good.
The other one just standing there as he walks away is like, what the hell was that? As you start like leaving up the stairs.
She knows him.
Thank you very
Oh,
much for your time, and thank you
fuck.
for your apology.
Okay, yeah, you start heading up.
So what do you think of that, Christine?
Honestly, I don't know. Not surprised, but also somehow surprised at the idiocy.
Yeah, that's fair. God, it feels good to prove the rich wrong.
I think it's more so just people like that.
Yeah, but what do you expect? You get used to something, starts becoming on demand. No need for manners.
As you start climbing up the stairs, as you get higher and higher, as you start climbing from the 4th floor to the 5th floor, you just hear the very long and melancholic notes of Chris on her violin.
It has been quite a while since I've heard that. I knock on her door.
Yeah, you make your way down the hallway as you approach the door. As you go to knock, the door just opens.
Yeah, and you see this large, like, large Genasi man, wearing like a suit, like an agent sort of deal. And he's just like, oh, Miss Sendo will see you now. And just opens the door for you and steps out of the way.
Thank you. Step in.
Yeah, you walk in, and he leads you like back. This is a multi-room like suite. He leads you back past the entrance into another room, and as you do, you hear the violin growing louder, and eventually he opens a door for you, and you step in, and you see Chris Stendo standing there playing her violin, her back to you.
To mainly Christine in the audience, you see this satyr with long flowing white hair with these goat horns that start curling back onto her head like a crown. She doesn't seem to be wearing pants, has a very nice white fluffy butt with hooves, and is wearing like this very dress-like shirt thing that's going across her top while she's playing this violin. Mainly her eyes are closed, and as soon as like she sees people and you see that they open, they've got this like little spark of bright purple like flickering through them. And as she sees Osiris, she immediately like puts a stop to her playing and gets up.
Yeah, it's a very sudden, just like as she like stops mid stroke, takes the what the hell do they call it? The bow. That's the
Bow.
one off the violin. Very carefully puts the violin down, like on a bench nearby, and puts the bow next to it in like a case, and then just turns, and just like does like a running leap at you.
Oh,
Oh god, does she flatten me on my ass?
That depends. Make a strength saving throw. No. She runs and jumps. She's smaller than you. And she like basically leaps at you and took a flying hug. And she's like, "Oh, it's been far too long, Osiris. Oh, you've grown so well." And she like pinches your little leathery face.
She, on the other hand,
Wow,
has not
Chris.
aged a day for you.
Uh-huh.
And she trained you when you were like 20-ish.
Yep.
oh,
Yes, Chris, the years have not been exactly kind, but...
Oh, don't be silly. You look like the picture of health. Come, have a seat. You've got to tell me what you're doing in town. I cannot wait to hear about it. And she like leads you back into the room and ushers you into a scene. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know you.
that's okay. I'm one of Osiris's companions in whatever journey we're taking.
Well,
This is Christine.
perfect. I was about to ask. I was going to say a friend of Osiris is a friend of mine, so I've got to know your name. Christine. Very nice name. It kind of rolls in a way. Christine.
Thank you.
It's pronounced Christine.
Christine. I don't believe you.
I don't really have a last name. It's just a spark, Ghislaine.
Oh, even a spark can flare into something brilliant.
Mm,
Now come, and she like literally takes you by the arm and like pulls you into the room. And like this is like to Christine because
Oh,
Osiris.
okay.
Yeah. So he just pulls you into the room and is like, "Now, have a seat. I'll send someone for a drink." Oh, what have you been up to? Why are you here to see me, Osiris? I thought you'd come see me sooner if you knew I was here.
Well, I only just found out that you were here, actually.
That's fair. I've been away for quite a while. It's hard to keep in contact with everybody.
It has been a number of years, and it is very hard to keep in contact with people, especially in such a vast place.
I wouldn't know.
Okay.
I've just come back from the Feywild. It's rather strange there. You wouldn't even believe how much time has passed. More than I'd think.
You have access to the Feywild?
Oh, yes. I spend a lot of time there myself. Actually, I just spend. I find it a bit more comforting than the material plane most days.
Well, I imagine it is every bit as extra as you are.
If only it wishes it could keep up. But yes, why are you here? I've got to know.
Well, there is a small bit of business that I do wish to discuss with you,
Ooh, business, always first before pleasure.
of course.
Mm.
I have been doing a fair bit of research into the Dvaja trials.
Dvaja. Oh, those fancy named priesty ones, yes? What about them?
Well, I currently have a companion in this party that I'm a part of that is undertaking them. And
Lucky them, hard work, I hear.
quite. There has been one record that we've managed to find that I went back and researched in the Atheneum, but the information about it on the date I was looking for was scrubbed, so to speak. And the person that had submitted the data was yourself.
Not surprising when you bring back something interesting enough, old... Well, she's the god of knowledge. Doesn't mean she's the god of sharing knowledge.
Or the god of manners.
No, rather rude most days. But hey, what can you do? I feel like
to that one.
immortality would kind of make someone a bit, cumbersome to deal with some days.
When I had a talk with her, she wasn't the most pleasant person.
Oh, you met her? Oh,
Yeah.
pity.
Well, you are also looking at another seeker of said Atheneum.
Oh, you made the mistake as well. Oh, congratulations. I'm joking,
The only
not a
mistake I
mistake.
made.
Not a mistake at all. Speaking of mistakes, joking again, how's Mero?
Oh shit.
Grab that name.
He
It's
gets
been
real quiet.
20 years since I've seen you both. Oh, she's got to be doing well. If you're out here, is she traveling with you or did she stay home?
Can I make a insight check on that, please?
Yep.
Because, yikes.
I feel like Osiris, there's no need for you to roll. Or did you want to?
No.
Yeah. Feel free to describe what's on your face then to Christine.
There is a look of sorrow and sadness.
Is it similar to when you mentioned about your partner?
Yes.
Okay.
Almost identical.
Okay. Well, I don't think that's... Would there be a better topic for now, since, I feel like I do not know much about you initially.
Oh, how could you not know myself? Like, she's busying herself at, like, a bench off to the side. Like, she starts pouring out, like, some drinks. And you're like, oh, how have you not heard of me? And she looks over and sees Osiris, and your expression goes, oh, yes, okay. I'm Chris Sender. I'm a traveler and performer and bard, and I used to be, well, still technically am a seeker of Labrana, though I haven't done a lot of that in a while.
Interesting. I asked because, I haven't really had much time to really hear much about works that you do. If you're similar to Osiris in the Seeker aspect, it's interesting.
Oh, that was all back in my more youth, I should say. Yes, I used to be a teacher in Gislane or a professor, only for a short stint. Wasn't very good at it. Only had one decent pupil. And she does a head check over towards Osiris.
He sort of lifts his head up to look at her. Chris, we need to talk.
Yes, it looks like we do. And she takes a seat in a chair opposite you and goes, all right, fill me in. What have I missed? Would you prefer it being a bit more... Oh. You see, she's getting watery-eyed as you say that, and he goes, but you were perfect for each other.
Is that okay?
Yeah. The band of pirates up in Concordant.
Oh, you don't need to tell me how. It's okay. And she reaches in and gives you a big hug.
Sort of lightly hug back.
Okay. Well, it's a damper, but I'm glad you told me. If there's anything I can do to help, I'm so sorry for bringing it up like that. Oh.
It's fine, Chris, really. There was no way you could have known.
Yeah, she lets you go from this hug and sits back down. She pulls a little a little handkerchief out from a little pocket and just dabs at her eyes a bit. Goes, oh, well, I won't ask the details. That will probably bring up more sore subjects, and I can't cry. I've got a performance tonight. You said, let's change the subject. Okay, you said business. Something redacted from the Atheneum? Yes?
Sorry. I was hoping you might be able to recall the information that you had submitted there that was redacted. I believe it could be very useful to a friend of mine.
I'm going to have to ask a bit more information. I submitted a lot of stuff back in the day. Do you know when?
Specifically the year 882 in a significant event in that year.
Ooh, 882. There were a few books back then, but nothing I can... she thinks her a bit, tapping on her chin. Oh! Yes. I do have one thing. Just before I left for the Feywild again, I was in Ghislaine doing a performance. And I was doing a performance because the king and the queen was close to giving birth, I believe. I'm trying to remember the details exactly. The king was doing something big, and the queen was about to give birth, probably in the next few days they expected. And they were having a big celebration, a big party, and they asked me to perform there. This is my last. This was just as I finished working at the Bard College down there, and we went up there and we did a big performance. It was a whole rousing ordeal. I had to play happy tunes for once. More of a somber person myself on the violin, but had a great time. Had a pretty good turnout. I think it went very well. But right near the end of the festivities, a woman came in. Everyone was very confused, and she stumbled on in. People didn't seem to know who she was, and she stood in the middle of the floor, in the center where all these people were dancing, and she said a few things, and almost immediately she was taken into a back area, and they are trying to. It's been so long. Oh. From what I remember, because I was back in my dressing room at the time, I was coming out and I happened to be by the door when they were asking her to say what she was going to say before they cut her off. And she said something. What did she say? She spoke this very, very long-winded whole thing. It's very rhyming and whatnot. But,
Can you be able to give any details?
well, from what I learned after, that woman was known as... Darius Cross was known... if I remember, she was Mina. Oracle Mina, apparently. She used to be a devout follower of the old god of fate. At least she was back in the day. She looked the same from description I'd read, but she looked a bit off. Strange. Because that would have been, she would have been around in the year 400. So to say she was there in the year 800, unimportant details. From what I remember, she started saying this whole thing. It was like, as old magic's birth, a loop cracking, the shackled try in vain and find they're lacking. It's fair. It's been 20 years. I don't remember the exact words, all of them, but I do know that I deposited it in the Atheneum. I was the one who gave it its little name. I believe it should be in under the Prophecy of Selflessness. Anything else you could help with that? But again, it's been 20 years. Well, for you all. It's been like 2 years for me. Still a while.
No, I understand, Chris.
Well,
That is very useful. It's a lead, which is more than what we had before. You were the only lead that we had so far.
Is there anything we could help with to maybe help with memory?
Well, unless you can read minds, probably not. But other than that, I could attempt to help look.
What do you mean by that, Chris?
By which part? Helping look? Well, I still can access the Atheneum.
No. Before that,
What, reading minds?
yes.
Well, just because I don't remember doesn't mean I don't know Osiris.
Would you mind if I had a look?
Oh, you've learned some new tricks.
Well, staying stagnant in one's ability is never good.
Okay. Promise not to pry too deep, and she sits up in the chair very proper and shimmies a bit in the seat, puts her hands in her lap and goes, "I'm an open book."
And I cast Detect Thoughts.
Okay. You get the surface thoughts immediately, which are her basically saying it's things of pride as she and sorrow very much mixing in her head right now. It almost brings you again to a tear as you the sorrow when you skim that, you just immediately get flashes of Mero and you back on your wedding day.
Yeah. As this
but
is
then-
happening,
yeah.
Cyrus's eyes are going glassy. They're open.
Yep. And the pride, and as soon as you touch the pride parts, you see experience a little flashes from your time at the academy, from this college, except from her point of view, and you can see she is very proud of what you've become in your time she's been away. And you're gonna push deeper. She willingly fails the save, and so I'm gonna ask you to make another investigation check with advantage.
Oh my god.
Oh boy.
Do you want me to roll into the tower?
Nope, you can roll out and open.
Oh boy.
Dirty 20. Okay.
Still dirty.
As you dive deeper, you encase yourself in this memory as if you're someone also experiencing this thing from a camera angle and forge mode of a Halo.
Like Halo, yeah.
You see the scene play out as this earthen Genasi woman walks into the fray as a bunch of musicians are all playing and everyone is dancing except the king and queen. The queen, heavily pregnant, sitting down on her throne. The king clapping, standing up, very jubilous in nature. Much more different than what you saw him last time. Very happy sort of deal. As she begins to speak, you see as she starts to speak and overwhelming swarms of different voices accompanying her at the same time, and then she's immediately shutting up by some guards, who the king then with them takes her into the back room, and the pregnant queen also gets up and he says no, sit down, it's fine. And you see as he walks off into this back room, as you follow behind, you also see the queen getting up from her throne and following anywhere. Peeking in through the door, you can see that it's in this back room that the crescendo has a door open, so that she step out. As she quickly closes it again, she's tearing her ear to the door, and she just hears as if the Genasi woman says,
in these multiple echoing voice, as old magic's birth, a loop cracking, the shackled try in vain, finding their lacking. The youngest open their eyes and wakes. The new lands crack, and under his gaze it breaks. Plains, once skewed, find purchase, realign. An eye opens, gaze drawn, the ender of the divines. Time is split, drawn and quartered, condensed. Shades of heroes brought back, dispensed. Through one's own blood, their life to drain. Final breath given else, all efforts were in vain. One so young, this world relies, but through their sacrifice, magic shall rise. And almost as soon as they finish speaking, they collapse, and at the same time you hear a wail, and you flip around and look, and you see the queen also drop down, and as she starts going into labor.
Oh my
and then you are busted out of the memory bubble and pushed away from it, and you just hear in your head, selflessness, protection, sacrifice. There you go.
Thank
for
you.
everyone.
Thank you so much. It's so
Thank
hard
you.
to try and keep up with that.
Yep, you're welcome. We
Okay,
keep
though.
it always in text.
As
Is there any-
Cyrus gets it, there seems to be a visible reaction to him
Yeah.
hearing this. He seems to sort of shift back and land on his ass as he's sort of shunted into a seating position after all this. You see as Osiris's eyes were glazed over and stuff, Chris starts walking over and immediately places her hand onto Osiris, and her eyes glow purple for a brief second, and a flash follows afterwards.
You okay? Did you get what you're looking for?
Yes, Chris, thank you. That was
That's-
a bit more violent than what I'm used to, but it is still a new power I'm getting a grip on.
Oh, it looks rather, intense, if I do say so myself.
Yes.
I didn't like the whole prying into minds thing. It seemed a bit too, direct for me.
Well, after what happened, one cannot take too many precautions.
That's understandable. Well, whew. Any more business, or can we move on to pleasure?
We can very much move on to pleasure.
Oh, lovely. Okay. She steadies herself a bit and goes, okay, where have you played? What have you done? How have you been? Where have you gone? And starts going immediately down, very much kind of interrogating you about your journeys and where you've been doing. You as well, Christine. It starts off being like, so tell me about yourself. How old are you? Where are you born? Oh, you're an orphan. Well, at least you grew up with a good environment. Oh, what's his name? The whole the head of the academy. Such a doting old fool, if I do say. Lovely friend of mine. Your friend? Yeah, goes through, systematically just prying information from you in a playful way.
Honestly, I feel like as well she's not really hiding much. Answering the questions pretty honestly. To her, there is no reason to hide. Why bother?
But yeah, basically, you just spend some time catching up. She tells you about her time in the Feywild. She spent a lot of time performing in different courts there, and just wandering the weird, endless forests. And then the time the show she had in Duskview a few weeks ago, and then all the stuff going on now. You just catch up and have a slightly better time than about 10 minutes ago. How much fun you have is entirely up to you both. But she is very good at her job, and her job is entertaining, so yeah.
Is fun mandatory?
With her, almost guaranteed.
I prefer optional.
But yeah, so we can... Unless there's something else Osiris or Christine would like to say before we fade out?
I did want to say something upon leaving, mainly. Just sort of, if whatever happens when we eventually do leave, I just want to sort of pull on Osiris. What exactly did you see?
Well, I saw a celebratory event regarding the Queen giving birth. And when said event happened, some sort of soothsayer came running in, was about to start spouting a prophecy, to which the guards took her away and the king followed, the queen not long after. And a prophecy was given, which I assume is the one that Selena constantly refers to, but we now have it from the source. It's unmodified, so to speak, in case anyone decided to hold things from her or perhaps alter what was said.
Oh.
Because trust does not go far when it comes to not specifically royalty, but them included.
I guess, yeah. What did they look like, the person?
The soothsayer?
Yeah.
You said Earth Genasi?
Yeah, so it was an Earth Genasi woman. It's hard really to tell age on Earth Genasi because she looked like she was made of stone. She had cracks through her skin around her face and neck where you could see some light glowing from inside. And her eyes appeared almost completely blank.
Yeah, so she looked like that.
I got a question for my own general knowledge, because I specifically remember two figures when I was taken to whatever pocket area I was. There was an Earth Genasi.
From hearing Osiris' description of that, you are able to think back to that time where you were dragged into that strange otherworldly place where you asked a question.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the figures at the table, almost asleep, was an Earth Genasi woman with cracks on her skin made of almost stone, cracks in her cheeks and across her neck, with the light glowing out from behind it.
It's so strange, like, I'm hearing that. It's just like her eyes will just kind of go a little bit like wide, like just in like realization. I've met that woman.
She is incredibly old because there was a remark about her being there in the year 400, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Saw her. I don't think I should have told you when this happened, but during
Quick question, Christine, before you keep talking. How frazzled is Christine?
frazzled.
Yeah.
On the realization, probably a bit frazzled.
Okay, roll on the table.
Okay. I hate how you don't let me
I heard
finish.
it. I heard
That's
it.
the point.
I sensed it.
Anytime Darian asks, just roll on the table.
Yeah.
You're never in a good state to not
I was really hoping you'd roll 42 again.
What the fuck?
Oh no! Not
Yeah.
Hey,
really, what again?
I haven't used Tides of Chaos today.
Yeah, you haven't. Do you want to use your Tides of Chaos to roll this to roll again?
I kind of do.
Okay, you can burn your Tides of Chaos to roll on the table a second
It's got
time,
the explosive.
be
and you
told to
can
roll
pick
again.
which of the two outcomes you want.
Done. Guess I'll take number 2.
Okay, so you don't notice that you feel some kind of thrum, but you don't seem to notice anything has happened around you.
Probably just look a bit exhausted out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I should have told before. When we were in the forest, I felt a pull. I don't know if I've really said that the reason why I at least knew about the druids before that Sator said it was because Labrana told me to ask a question in whatever place I was in. One of the people, there was a person next to her. That person fits that description.
That's odd.
I don't know how or why I was pulled in at that moment. I really do not know. But that's something I don't know what to do with. Jesus Christ.
There is not much to do with that besides hold on until it's more relevant. So wouldn't beat yourself up too much for not knowing what to do.
I guess I should have probably asked something else. I don't know. I really don't know.
Don't worry about it, Christine. Dwelling on the past does not change the outcome, so I wouldn't worry too much.
Sorry about that. Yeah, you're right.
I'm all
So,
that's right.
As the two of you were talking, Osiris, could you roll me a religion check?
I can.
Legione.
Never mind. Things happen.
As
You make your way out of the hotel.
Yeah.
You pass through the entrance. Luckily, not looking even dirtier and smelling like sulfur. So you don't get completely judged by the two people at the front desk while they look at you very confused.
I give a sort of half-knowing, smoky grin as I give off the presence of waving politely to them as they leave.
One of them, like the one who was on the sending stone with Chris Sender, gives like a half wave back, like bye. Oh god. The other one just like looks at you confused. But you make your way outside, back into the streets. Almost time for your. It's like mid-afternoon at this point, or midday, I say at this point. But as you do, the camera's gonna pan away from you all, and then pan down to the docks with Jakova. But first, we're going to take a quick
pans
break.
back up to it. We'll be right back.
I was gonna say, I think a plate's appropriate after that.
Yeah, I need to go to the toilet, so
I'm going to quickly
Small
take a
break.
bottle of water, and I'll be back to answer questions quickly.
I'm back in a
We're
second
back.
as well.
Ditto.
Alright, guys, gotta say, today's episode, pompousness and prophecies, easy. I take it up a load. I chat.
Yo, imagine if Selena wasn't there for that entire thing. That would be funny. Oh, Malone IPO.
no, I'm back now. Also, Dimmy, no, it's not pompousness and prophecy. It's prophecies of pomposity.
Also back.
So how'd you like that,
Do
Jeremy?
you like a prophecy puzzle?
Yeah, actually, it was a pretty good puzzle. I give it a solid rating.
Hey,
Did you like how your mentor didn't know your wife is dead puzzle?
Yeah, love that. That didn't make me shake a little bit.
Darian, I'm fine saying this. I think if we give and play the game to Jeremy for using detect thoughts to do something like 100% different to what we thought it was gonna do.
Yep, yeah. We had a whole thing where like, you could have asked her and she would have like, joined you in the Atheneum and helped you look for stuff, and
Oh,
there was no option, but you just looked in her brain.
You literally gave me the idea.
yeah, you literally
Yeah.
gave him the idea.
I did give you the idea, but it's because she just talks, and I just talk.
Mm.
It's the easier of the options.
Yeah, you could have chosen not to, and you wouldn't have had to
It's
deal
my
with more
favourite-
sadness.
It's my favorite spell, hands down.
I was
Easily.
saying,
Yeah.
It's such a good spell.
I was saying, imagine if Selena was just not here for hearing any of that, or Tez was just AFK.
What?
No,
That
I
would've
was
been-
there.
I know, but just imagine that. I would have had so
If I had to be like, if I had to be away that day for whatever reason,
It would be
You
hilarious.
just
I
come
was like
back to
sick.
you just come back to Chaz like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, alright,
What the fuck is this?
listen
If
here.
I go AFK, I leave my headphones on.
Still wouldn't better hear me though read out everything. No, I was rather loud. Fuck, I actually kind of want to re-listen to myself say that because I want to hear it from not me.
What was this again?
Golly.
I just want to hear that whole like all that just happened, but from not being the person saying it.
And I wanna say it. Honestly, earlier than we expected, drop the prophecy.
Yeah.
I was
I,
hoping to hold on to that shit till way late game.
It happens, but
It
yeah, now you
happens.
have some words.
Now you got words. Now to make meaning of them.
No, I don't want to.
I'm trying to sort of get some meaning from. I think I have an idea,
But you don't know that
and
yet.
it's concerning. Yeah, I honestly.
You can throw
I
ideas.
Don't know yet either. So.
Throw things at dartboard. What are you thinking, honey?
My favorite line is the shackled to try in vain. That's my
Look.
favorite.
Look, here's what the prophecy's about. It's about the friends we made along the way.
That's right. It says, what ideas do you have? Well, throw something at dartboard. I want to hear what you're thinking.
Well, the gates are opening, and that's sort of like a whole thing.
Yeah,
That
planes
could have
once
something-
skewed finds purchase realigns. That's, I assume,
Yeah.
us fixing it.
The ender of the divines, a little bit concerning, considering
Could that mean the end of Andivine?
I'm sort of thinking a lot of the gods are dead. So did
The
something
one
kill
that's
them?
confusing me a bit is time is split, drawn and quartered, condensed. Shades of Hero brought back dispensed, and I'm really worried about that.
Yeah.
I'm very
Oh
worried.
god, I
about
think
that.
that's caught right there.
No, really.
Time split, drawn and
Mm.
quartered. God
Oh, well,
damn
okay.
Echo Knight.
I'll let a little spoiler out. I read Fizzbands, and we're gonna have so much fucking fun with dragons this campaign. You guys don't fucking believe.
Oh hell yeah! I haven't even had a chance to read it yet.
It's
There
not
were
out in
things-
Australia.
It's great, yeah. There were things we were planning that Fizban's just had stat sheets for. I'm like, perfect! We would have to make custom things for this, but now it's there!
I heard AJ like in celebration.
It was so good.
AJ just be like, this prophecy is just about the Mets, baby. Let's go, Mets.
I'll say, we have events listed here in this prophecy. Some of them have already happened.
Which one is the time split?
Figure it out.
I think the gates opening has like a lot to do with it.
Well, the youngest open their eyes and wakes, so. But that also, man, I hate this sort of shit because it's so vague and can literally mean anything, and it can
Yeah.
also have nothing to do with what you think it does.
Hey Darren, they hate listening to. Imagine us writing the fucking thing.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
You don't write
It's
prophecies. They're bad.
I'm not
You're
right. I never will
welcome.
write a prophecy.
Prophecies suck. Never actually write them because then you have to actually make sure events happen to go in line with them in at least some way. So what you do is you do what me and AJ did, which is what you do is make them incredibly specific to really vague events.
I hate half of this prophecy.
We know exactly what every single line is referencing to. We made a point of figuring everything out before we were writing it and then trying to make it fit the events.
I hate. Just hate.
I remember when like Nerisian was like, "Oh, you know that prophecy that she thinks that she knows about, that that Selena believes in, that she'd never heard the words of, or
Hey, look,
like
Selena, look, Nerisian was like, hey, you're just trying to become a god. That's all that's happening.
No breath given else, all efforts were in vain.
She has to die.
Yeah,
Not necessarily.
so then you become a new god.
The
Oh,
final breath given else, all efforts were in vain. All efforts were in vain.
yeah. Given
that
all
could mean
else, yeah,
that could mean
else,
anything.
It all could mean anything.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you don't have enough freaking fire miles to go to Hawaii.
All efforts
Well,
were in
lots
vain
of
there.
time in vain when you die. Like, could never go to Hawaii, I guess.
But through their sacrifice, magic shall rise. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, sacrifice
Okay.
doesn't necessarily mean death.
Maybe you just become
To
a
give
zombie.
up something. Or
That's all I'm
something
saying.
to give it up.
You'd
Fucking-
be,
Calling it now, Selena has to give up her magic.
I'm just gonna say she'd be great as a warforged.
She has to fucking full metal alchemist thing.
Just to be great.
This thing, go to the door, take my alchemy away.
It's a good show. Everyone should watch
Yeah.
Brotherhood. It's fucking
Oh, sorry, I
good.
didn't press the button. My bad.
Oh, okay.
Nice, we're all here.
Alright, let's jump back into it. Keep that brain thinking, because you've got, like, years to figure that out.
Oh, hey.
Jakova, you're on the docks.
Not having any nonsensical religious bullshit happening to you. You're just running.
Yeah, just out for a jog, fish.
Yeah, you
And-
hear some people setting out. It's early in the morning, so like a few of the late starters setting out on their boats to go fishing. You see people loading up like larger vessels for maybe trade or maybe void. Who the fuck knows what they're going for? You're just running, having a good time, looking for fish.
I have two intentions with this morning jog.
Yep.
First is, well, actually, it's three technically. The first is just exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Because, gotta stay in shape as a barbarian.
Yeah, makes sense.
You gotta keep
second-
dope somehow.
The second, I want to find a fisherman who's willing to sell some fresh fish that could be prepared over a fire.
You can't find a fisherman because they're all going out now. You can find
or just someone that's selling
you can
fish.
find a fishmonger. There's a large fish.
I couldn't remember the term.
There's a whole large line of fishmongers out in the docks. You find someone who's got the freshest fish you can determine.
Yeah, I'm going to approach them because I want to ask them about it first. As I approach.
Morning.
So, yes, good morning. What sort of fish would you recommend for a casual meetup between a couple people over a fire? Out of your options, I would assume he has more than one type of fish.
If you want something simple, we've got cod. If you want to go full on roast territory, we have tuna.
What would you recommend? Price? I'm not too concerned about right at the second.
Tuna's bigger.
Yeah, tuna will probably cost you maybe 5 silver for a full-size tuna. Can get away with maybe 3 copper a cod.
Are you going to be here most of the day?
We usually shut down a bit earlier than other shops, as we start earlier than other shops, so we'll be closing around 3 in the afternoon-ish.
I'll be back before then. Thank you. And I will head on my way for the time being.
Also, by
As-
the way, that's
oh.
the day.
My next thing is, now how big is Telnorus again? It's fairly big, right?
Big. In terms of like footprint, it's bigger than Ghislaine.
How close is like the docks to a bit that's maybe just outside the city, like in terms of distance?
45
The docks-
minutes.
Yeah, like the docks stretch
Okay, so
from
as long
like
as-
wall to wall in a way because it's like they go the whole way across the coastline.
Yeah, I want to know if it would
Yeah.
be possible to go outside of the city to potentially light a small campfire, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
You
thank
can
you.
light one
Fuck it.
on the beach, because there's a
Well,
docks and
actually,
beach.
you know what? That sounds even better. Well, I'll find a nice spot on the beach for later. And
Yeah, because
I
the
guess-
docks are built above the beach, so like you could drop down there and like just light yourself a little fire between like the docked ships.
I guess you don't need me to roll for that or anything. Just
No,
It's easy
Yeah,
to find.
okay.
We'll just say-
kindling.
yeah, drop a whole 1 copper if you want to get some decent wood.
I honestly was willing to spend a couple gold for all of this. So
It's wood in a dockyard. You probably just go and like ask some shipwright, and he gives you his discards.
yeah, so I plan to spend at least a gold because I want a couple of the big tuners.
Okay.
They're probably big.
Yeah, they're like when he
Roll them
says they're big, it's like you need 2 arms to carry them.
You know, for the sake of it, because I don't feel like worrying about change, I'm just gonna say 2 gold.
Yeah, tunas are full on like rotisserie fish. If
That's
you
fine.
want to cook it like that.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
They're big.
So I imagine I'd have to drop a bit of extra just to be able to probably get some extra stuff for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can drop more than the 2 if you want.
As if you spend 2 gold, you can get 2 tuna, even 3 if you wanted, plus some wood to make a little fire, and enough, and like whatever you'll need to cook it. It's not going to be like
I'll go
spiced
over
and
it,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah, that's how fucking big a tuna is in the
Now,
Discord.
the next part, I did get approval to do this first. I'm gonna head back to the inn. I imagine everyone's out still at this point, except for Annex, who I don't think went out with anyone.
She's doing her own thing.
Cool, that's good. I'm going to head back to the inn. I imagine this will be covering a few hours of the day as I go back and forth.
Yeah, but you started early, so yeah.
I'm basically going to approach Annex, and as I said, I did ask her if she'd be okay with this. I'm basically going to ask her if she would like to come spend sort of a dinner at the beach. Or an early dinner, I guess, because it'll take me a while. Yeah, I mean, by the time we're done, it'll probably be about dinner. Yeah.
Don't we have dinner with Bralov, though?
I can give you the exact answer as to what we're doing here.
I
Basically,
would like the exact answer, because I don't know what's going on.
So I basically asked her if Annex would willingly ditch the others if Jakuba invited her out. She's down for that. So
Okay.
we're basically ditching Bralov's dinner.
Okay, so you two just had to just skip and go have fish on the beach.
Uh-huh. And that
Fair.
basically means I'd head back, probably leading her to the place and whatnot, and, I'd probably teach her to help, set up and such if she wants to learn a bit.
Yeah, the 2 of you spend most of the day, I'm assuming, getting down there, setting up a little thing, basically making a fire to cook these massive fucking, fish. They're huge. Tuna is big.
I'm going to put it out there. Would it be possible that some random, random civilian would want to join in for this thing and there's maybe a party?
Oh,
going?
you get a few, dock, you get a few, kids from the docks who are,
You brought
watching you
extra
from the
fish,
top.
isn't it? I brought extra fish.
Yeah. You don't have a cooking skill, do you, Jacobo?
No.
Do you have cooking supplies? No?
No, that's what I was saying. Like, I'd have to spend extra to maybe get some of those things. It's very makeshift. It's sort of.
I was meaning so you know the tool check in your skill list. Okay.
No, I don't have any of that. It'd be a D20 with whatever, wouldn't it?
So you grew up in a savannah with not a lot of fish.
And that's fine by me.
You're gonna cook one of the biggest fish on a rotisserie fire.
Look, the way I'm imagining it is, I'm cooking it over a fire, and I'm probably treating it a little bit like cooking something that I'd hunt in that manner.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you to give me 2 skill checks here. The first is gonna be just a straight, straight intelligence check.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know to remove the bones from the fish.
If not, I'd probably eat them anyway.
Possibly. The next one is going to be a dexterity check to see how well you cook it.
Just a regular dex.
Yep. Okay. It's not the best fish, but it's definitely not bad. You at least know enough about fish to know roughly how to prepare them. You would have had disadvantage with this, but I'm going to assume Annex is helping you.
Yeah, it'd be sort of a combination of that.
Yeah. So between the two of you, you get the fish, you skin it as necessary, you debone it, you cut its head off, you do all the things you do to prepare a fish. You eventually set it up on this spit, the chunks of meat that you separate from the body, and you cook them over the fire. Yeah, you spend most of the day doing this. A few kids eventually sitting around like at the top, the smoke coming up and the smell of the fish. They come look.
Yeah, they'd be offered if they want to join us.
Almost none of them do for the first few hours because they're like weird bird, weird cat, big people eating fish below the docks. That ain't some nut shit. That ain't some right shit.
Into danger.
But eventually, after some while, the smell of cooked food lures a few in close. And the first few basically get in, and when you offer it to them, they snatch it and run a bit back. They eat it. The rest of them watch. The kid doesn't die of poisoning. I'm assuming you haven't poisoned them.
I think so.
And then they all start coming in, and there's about a dozen urchins who are just wanting chunks of fish. And given you have 2 giant fucking tunas, you can feed them all and the both of you and still have excess fish.
I imagine we'll probably be out for a fair bit of the night anyway, so
yeah, this goes through the day into the night. So we're gonna say you're here.
If anyone had a reaction to not finding us there, go for it. But
yeah, we're gonna say you guys doing this while everyone else is having is gonna meeting up with Bralov, which we're gonna flick straight to now. Who is going to actually go to the inn where Bralov said asked you guys to meet him?
Me.
I would, at least.
I would actually. I was
Cyrus?
told to meet people.
Uh-oh.
Jeremy?
Sorry, yes?
Oh, I see. Did you say yes? You were going to join them? You were going to go to the inn as well?
Yeah, I will go to the inn as well.
Okay, so the 4 of you are going to go meet up with Bralov for dinner and catch up, as he said.
You all make your way to the dockyard. You can smell the ocean hit you, as well as a bit of cooking out in the air. Eventually you make your way into the name of the tavern that I forgot and didn't write down, that someone said
Something
earlier.
peddler. I said it.
The peddler. As you make your way and you see
Broken
Bralov.
peddler.
You see Bralov is sitting there, seeming to be eating fish and chips, battered shark cooked on a grilled. He's eating that with chips with lemon. He notices you roll in, wipes his hands.
Yeah, it's a rather it's not a very obvious establishment. It's pretty dingy, but he's sitting down in an area and there's a big table that he's at, and there's a bunch of seats for 6 people. There are only 4 of you showed up. And yeah, he's just already eating away, and he waves you over come on in here and eat some fucking food with me and catch up.
Ow, aggressive.
Mystery is playing the role of Bralov tonight.
Meow.
Cool.
Yeah. Hey. As you all sit down, purchase some flying clothes, yeah? Go ahead.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Last minute, I sort of thought, with a little bit of the time left, how much would that set me back?
Fine clothes cost.
10 to 15.
15 gold.
Thank you.
Let me add it to the sheet. As you all sit down, yeah, just order what you want. I've got it on my tab. And he waves over a waiter, and they take your order. It's mainly seafood here, with like some euro, like cooked like lamb and beef and pork on a rotisserie. Eventually, it all comes out to you. But while you're waiting for your food, he's pulls out a bundle out of like a little pouch that he's got, hands it over to you, Judas. Yeah, it's done. I don't know what runes you wanted and carved on it, so I went giant or dwarvish, whatever one you want. You just see that your sword now has some giant runes on the blade, making it magical.
Oh, thank you very much. These runes are... I can't read them, but thank you very much. And I give it a quick test the balance.
Yeah, balance.
It's the same.
With magical weapons in particular, they no matter how unbalanced they are, they balance to your weight. Same as how with like, say if you've got magical boots that they stretch to your feet, the swords will always be balanced to whoever's wielding them.
Cool.
Unless they're like giant, like if you go for like a great sword and you can't wield a great sword, then that's what's going to happen.
Good to know.
He looks over to Osiris. We found someone for a bathroom. It's going to be maybe 125 GP to get it enchanted. So I'll take your yes or no tonight and hand it over to my boss to get it ordered for you.
That would be fantastic.
It'll take maybe a day or two.
Perfect.
What was the last item that you guys got from him?
I believe Selena wanted the pendants to be messed with, but that's really about it.
Yeah, that'll take some time though. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just drop by tomorrow. We'll get the conjurer to come in and you can go over the details.
Sorry, was that to me?
To
Osiris.
Ah, right.
Do you want the gold now?
Bring it tomorrow. We'll go to her anyway.
Cool. Was there... I could only tune in briefly at moments for last stream. Was there a discussion on getting sending stones, or was that a no-go?
There
again?
was.
There was. No one decided on it, so if you wanted to bring up the conversation, you could now. Essentially, I don't exactly remember the math.
There was the idea of like just getting a like multiple sending stones like connected to each other, so we could use it like once a day each stone. But if one person uses it, everyone else connected to it hears it.
Yeah.
You could either have walkie-talkies for a group of your number, or you could
Be
get
huge.
or you could get
One
one
universal.
bypasses whoever's got a rock to send it
Yeah.
back.
The walkie-talkies would be much more expensive.
I'll have
Yeah.
to go over the math again. I'll have to go watch the stream to get that.
Basically, to summarize, if you get one set for everyone that's going to work for everyone, the cost of every additional stone is an exponential increase in cost. So it gets expensive quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want like one stone that can just cast sending a bunch of times, it's more viable, but then people can't respond as often. That's end up being cheaper. But yeah, that's a whole thing for another time.
And then there was the theory of having the sending stones, but having it be forever consistent, and that's like ridiculous. But
It's like incredibly expensive.
yeah.
Anyway, well, partly the reason why I wanted to ask you all to come to know, I do want to hear about what you've done and would like to know what the Roche fella had us do and for what reason. But mainly I'm asking for your assistance in a personal matter.
Or is that business or pleasure? Well, I'll tell you what it was. It was a joke. Calm down. It's fine.
No, sorry, I was getting a message from Darren. It's like it's always business. I was put into a position before we all met where I lost important things to me and was directed to a group of people to aid them in their investigation and their jobs to help gain what I lost back. But I needed what I got from Zerosh, so the timeline got crunched a lot until he gave it back. I can't offer anything at the moment to pay for, because I don't necessarily have the funds in my position, but I can offer some guarantees. I'm a skilled fireworker and Golomancy construct builder, so I can either do a pro bono job for you or reduce the costs if you ever need something like that done in the future. But I would ask of you to meet these people and help them with whatever they do. It might sound a bit shady, but it's all done in good consciousness. There's a bunch of higher up people than me in the guild that are onto the situation.
Who exactly are these people?
They go by Tsunami. They're anti-guild activists. Mainly the Gear House.
Is there a reason that they've cracked the shits?
A bunch of different reasons. One doesn't make sense. Her parents are rich, and you know what? I honestly don't. Her parents are rich was all I got from her. A couple of them had some bad times when some more guild restrictions got laid. They didn't want to bother getting the proper paperwork done and all that stuff, and therefore they lost work, and then if they lost work, they lost money, and they lost money, they lost their families or their houses and all that stuff. Basically, they could have just done some simple things and it would have been fine, but you know them. I don't necessarily agree with their philosophies at all, but I need them at the moment.
What exactly did you lose?
I have a big contract. I literally can't talk about it. I've got NDA signed about it. It's large and it's, I can't talk more about it other than it's going to be a big thing for the city.
Big thing for the city made by a Golomancer.
That's, yeah. I'm sorry, I honestly, if I could tell you more, I wouldn't, because it's sort of secretive at the moment.
Okay.
But
this makes me real upset that I used my once-a-day version of Detect Thoughts, which
Yeah,
is
you did,
at
didn't
will
you?
and not subtle.
But basically, I lost due to an accident in a showcase of all the artificers. One of my things went awry and caused some heavy damage to the gear house itself, but the people who know me know that I didn't do it. It was mainly sabotage, but to save face, the high artificer demoted me, promoted my student ahead of me, and put me under her. And part of my role in this big project, big parts and information was taken from me and distributed to other people. We need to take him back so we can locate who sabotaged me to begin with, because we believe it's someone else.
Within the gear house?
I think so. Out of everyone, people would suspect the Muldoon, the gift fella who works across from me, but he's a rival, but too much of a rival to be suspicious in my regard. He'd probably hate doing something like that, so I don't think it's him. But yeah, we need to... But he got my plans, so we needed to go take him back so we can find the trace.
And by take them back,
I don't know the plan, honestly. That's why I want you guys to meet up with Tsunami. I'm going with you, if that's the thing. We can go right after this. My whole job was to get the chalk as he picks it up.
That does make sense what that is used for.
Sir, I'm asking you to help. You don't have to if you don't want to. I honestly don't have good payment for you, but I can give you a favor in the future. It's the best I can do.
Is this work somewhat dirty, so to speak? Below the line?
Well, isn't it correcting a wrong that's being plagued in the working class?
Technically, it's illegal, but I have
To translate,
permission.
yes, it's illegal.
That does
No,
not help.
But I have permission.
Which means the blame falls on somebody else, so we're exonerated, correct?
Yeah, you won't. Nothing should catch up to you.
Fantastic, I don't see a downside to this. Everybody wins except the people who are at fault.
Well,
All
you
the
helped
people
us
who
in the
put
past.
this forward.
He helped you in the past.
Roloff.
And a favor from a
Lazy bit.
Golemancer is no small thing.
Also, I will bargain with them that you don't have to kill or hurt anyone.
I would not kill anyone. It's just the manner of. I point to my eye.
Like the one on your face?
I can.
No,
I can.
my full attire.
Yeah, I'm aware. We're not. The person I know who's given permission's not going to call the eyes in for this.
Yes, if that's short, okay. It's more along the lines of keeping up appearances.
Then just. Do you
So
want to
fancy
stay
then.
behind and let other people hear it out, and then you can determine if you want to help or not?
Yep.
Like honestly, if you want to leave, if you don't want to do this, you can. You can leave. For anyone, I don't.
Well, if you helped us in the past, when we went into the Three Queen Den, you were there and you helped us. So I'm more than willing to help you.
Well, thank you very much. And then he
I'm not
looks
gonna
at-
lie, Golem is intriguing. So, I'm in.
and sort of just stares at Christine.
She doesn't really like make contact, like eye contact, but it's just like, I don't think I really have a reason to say no.
Well, we'll have some dinner, and then we'll go. As like the plates start coming in, he can see them as they begin to walk over. We'll have some dinner. Follow me. We're actually close by to where they meet up.
Okay.
I'd just like everyone to know that I ordered raw seafood,
Nice.
like
Just, you know,
prawns and shellfish and
Make me
oysters.
feel like really, really, really envious right now because I haven't been able to have sashimi for like 5 months.
I haven't had dinner yet.
You all eat your food, your fish and adjacent foods that you find in the fish and chip shop / Japanese restaurant, I guess.
Oh, it didn't have to be prepared. It could have just come in a fucking bucket.
It came in a bait bucket, like just straight up.
yeah.
Fantastic, just
Yeah.
like home.
As you eat it all, you all fill up. Is Drew just following the group or going back to the inn?
Judas is gonna follow. He'll make up his mind there.
I want to like awkwardly just like ask people what they did today. Like, what did everyone do today?
I went to a
Our research yielded no results.
Oh, that's a shame.
No,
Oh,
I
that's
was
dark.
screwing with you. We found quite a bit actually.
Oh,
I finished this guy's sword, worked on a
Thank you.
consultation with the other guy, and I began testing your pendant.
oh, perfect. So like come back from like the yes it yielded results to like yay the pendant's done, but like kind of it's a little bit like it's like frazzled.
Yeah, it sort of burnt a bit, like it went all black because it set itself on fire. Fixed it, no permanent damage.
Oh, that's fine. I can always get it repainted.
Really? It's purple glass, you can't paint.
It's
Okay.
metal.
It's metal,
I
AJ.
thought
You
it was
could
glass.
technically
Glass is
paint
I don't know how you keep forgetting it's glass.
because
said it
glass is
last
cooler!
It is cool, but we said it last time.
Actually, if you burn metal, you could like usually wipe. Like, but it would have been painted, so it would have
Yeah.
been the paint. So I need it repainted. That's fine. He's fine.
No, glass is cooler, that's why I said glass.
Okay. That would
Alright,
be like
cool.
metallic.
That's fine.
It's
It can
now
be metal
metallic
and
glass. You're welcome.
It's both properties at once. I'm the
You,
DM.
you know what,
Why-
AJ?
why would you wanna be
canonize,
vulnerable to
like,
heat metal?
You canonize it the way you want it.
Alright,
No,
fine.
it's
It's glass,
fine.
but it's transmuted to metal. It's fine.
It's
You're
fine.
welcome.
It's fine. It's metal.
It's metal.
He's-
Okay, moving on.
Hang on.
Oh, I
as
get
everyone-
burnt in the neck then.
As everyone finishes talking about their day, he's like, alright. He looks outside the window because you're placed to what you see that like the moon is finally out. It's pretty dark at the moment. He's like, alright, best time to go out now. And he gets up. Well, he waits for other people to leave because he's probably in one side of the. He's in the inner part of the booth, so he has to wait for everyone to get
Yeah.
out of the booth so he can.
Judas
leave.
will get out.
I'll say mid-eating, just before we finished up,
Mhm.
Selena will hear in her head, we found the original prophecy.
Oh.
So, whether or not you want to hear about that now or hear about that after this, but we do have a official copy, right from the source.
She looks directly at you and just nods, unblinking.
Blink once if you want to hear it now.
Blinks once.
What? And then you hear, yeah, was that a blink? Or was that confirmation? And then you'll hear me say, you can just give me an actual answer.
Blinks once
Please.
again.
Please tell me, Osiris.
And I will convey the prophecy.
All right. And that's the only thing that happens before you guys start to leave.
I'm just
Cool.
waiting for a reaction.
Yep.
She doesn't give much away. She sort of like sits there for a moment, like.
Wait. Christine wants a reaction. Christine roll insight. Selena roll deception.
No, I don't need to deceive anything.
No, deception is just hiding your emotional response.
Okay.
Christina,
just
roll on your table.
Wait, wait.
I can.
Christine, roll on your table.
Okay,
Oh
cool.
my god.
Anytime Darian opens his mouth, I'm telling you.
It's only times
You like coaxed that one though.
Yep.
I did.
So wait.
But I mean, like, if I
No,
hear
not
you.
Chris, not
Yeah.
you, Kim. I'm saying.
No, me. That was totally on me.
Oh. Oh.
Oh.
Wish I
let's
had
just.
that with Crescendo.
okay. That doesn't matter because basically everyone at the table is a little distracted for some reason all of a sudden, or you're not. Who cares? This isn't combat, so let's just roll over that one. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
so what is Selena trying to hide, but Christine reads into?
So she kind of like, after hearing the prophecy, she sort of puts her head down a little bit. And like, she's trying to compose herself. Like, this is something that she spent like a most of her life like wondering about it, whether or not it's even a real thing. So there is definitely an emotion there, but it's like, it's still kind of like dulled. And after like a little bit of like a moment of sort of just trying to sort of regain that composure, she just gets her notebook out and like just starts writing it down in like another language.
All right.
Her writing.
So yeah, that happens. The reactions occur.
A little shakily.
Dinner is finished after a bit, and you all start shuffling out. As you get outside, Brylov waves for you all to follow him, and he starts walking back towards, like, further in towards the deeper parts of the Doctix district, still following the borderline. He leads you out quite a ways. It's about 10 minutes of walking through these dark, very dark streets. It's fucking late at night. The moon's out, but there's not a lot of like, street lights or anything, so you can't see a whole lot. But eventually he leads you out onto an actual wharf itself and starts leading you out over the water. It's not a long journey as you approach a boat, no, a ship. It's a small ship, or sailboat, though it is in very obviously serious disrepair. There are multiple holes in the hull above the waterline. The mast itself is actually bisected, with one of the sails laying across the deck. Bralov looks at it and just goes, you'll see. And he hops over the gangway onto the ship and starts walking towards the door that would lead usually into the castle, the cabin. Everyone following?
Yeah, but
Yep.
first
I
I'm
will
going-
follow, and I will put up my detect magic.
Okay.
I'm going to put on my cape.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume it's already. You can attune to
it.
it, yeah.
Yeah, like I would have taken the time, like during the day, but being that I'm still wearing my fine clothes, I would have like probably put that on when we got outside because it's probably cold.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I want to like just make a point I got that on.
So
Just in
Judas,
case I fall in.
there is no magic at all at the moment. He opens the door to the cabin. This cabin does not look very big from the outside, but as he does, you see past him. There is no cabin. It just heads straight down into a set of stairs, which he goes down as they fall back on themselves. He's walking. This used to be a ladder. Now it's stairs because I didn't like the ladder. And he leads you below deck. And when you get down there, the entire inside of the ship, you find out it's a facade. The ship is not a ship. It's all false, like walling, holding up the edges, and plaster, like basically beams and bracing, just holding the frame in place. It's in it completely a facade. He leads you through about halfway through through the inside of this facade, and then walks up to a section of it, and he opens a hidden door in the facade that actually goes out under the docks. He steps through, and you hear a bit of a splash. And when if you follow through, you see basically a pathway under the docks, obscured by netting and debris, that follows back towards this town.
Stealthy, yes. Convenient, no.
No.
Yeah. That's
He
what
walks-
I said.
But I do give props to ingenuity.
You guys all walk down the underside of this walkway, and as you reach the end of it, it's a brick wall in front of you. He taps on one part, taps on a different part, taps on a third part. That's it. And he just like pushes the entire wall inwards on like a swing.
Does he tap it with an umbrella?
No, he just it's like he's tapping the bricks, trying to find the correct one to push. And like you realize he pushes one, and it just swings inwards as if the entire wall is a door. Entering inside, you see a surprisingly large and well furnished space. It's like a big room. There's like a table in the center with like charts and maps and like notes and stuff on it. There's a set of bunk beds, like there are two sets of bunk beds off to one side. There's another door at the back that seems to lead somewhere else.
There's a pinball table. There's
Yeah.
there's a ping pong table and a pool table and a foosball set up. It's pretty
Yep.
cool.
I go straight to the
Nice.
foosball table.
When you're walking, the door opens. You immediately see this very large human standing kind of by the pool table, and he's like holding a drink. He looks over and goes, "Well, goddamn! No, that's the wrong voice."
It is the wrong-
Not again. It was him all
Granny
along.
was saying.
Give me a moment. Gotta get the right voice.
But yeah, you look at this man. He's almost like he's maybe about 6 foot, large in both like physical size, and he's a little bit like muscled. One of his arms is chopped off.
Oh my god.
He's got a little like stub with like an iron casing around it. He seems to be at the bar.
Well, look at here.
Morning, Garrett.
I did not expect you to bring some succulent friends into this endeavor.
Oh god.
That's a lie. I knew you were coming all along. So, and like he walks towards like, who the fuck are all you?
I sort of turn to the group. We really got to come up with a name. It's
These
gonna
are
make this sort of shit way easier.
We do.
No,
these
we
are
don't.
my friends who helped me get this finally. It took a while.
Yeah.
He hands it over to them.
I remember what you told me. I remember all that. I want to hear from them.
What do you want to hear?
Who the fuck you is?
Not important.
Is Osiris.
When you say not important, he just like slams his stump on the table, and he goes, "I'll tell you what the fuck's not important."
Please.
I say, what's not important? I am Garrett, and I am the leader of Tsunami. So you tell me who the fuck you is right now.
This is a Barrett reference.
Did you know? Okay.
You son of a bitch.
It's a what reference?
Final
Barrett.
Fantasy
It's a Final
7.
Fantasy 7 reference. Did you not get it with
never
Tsunami?
heard it.
No, I was off with the fairies.
Oh god. Sorry. Okay.
Well,
Oh my goodness.
Alright.
my name, for all intents and purposes, is redacted.
Holy shit, he brought a cop!
What the fuck? Why'd you bring a cop? And you see from the back room, immediately, like, the door slams open, and you see this, like, massive guy, like, another human, but just, like, huge, broad shoulders, like, thick arms, just carrying a mole, and it's like, dude, where's the cop?
You see one of the humans playing foosball is like pointing at you. Pointing at the hobgoblin.
Does it look like this is about to get violent?
You know what? You take what you want from this, but the response to that is that all goes, and then he slams the table again. He goes, "Redacted's not a name."
It's all you're getting, my friend.
Oh my
Technically,
god.
names are just titles, but
He's red like me.
You see a tiefling woman. Okay, fine. We'll do the introductions first then.
Thank
You already know me. I'm Garrett, head of this whole operation we got going on here. That man there, you've met him before. He's Branov. You all know him. I don't know you. That one over there with the hammer, he's Sledge. Pretty obvious. He's got a sledgehammer. This guy over here, named Siggs. Don't ask him why. And her, his name is Jeff.
I'm sorry, Sam, but you chose to miss out on this.
You're not even trying.
We're trying extremely hard. What the fuck you want about it?
I love it. I'm losing my composure.
So, we've done our introductions. Now, who the fuck is you?
For appearance sake, as I am an I, redacted, because it will look bad on my record.
Right off, if you don't get him tell me his name right now, I'm gonna stab him.
Boss, why don't we
And then
just...
he's gonna hit him with the hammer.
Boss, why don't we just call him like a nickname, like Big Red? Like,
Ooh, I like that.
He's new.
I will, yes, Big Red will do from now.
Okay, you. No. I decide your nickname. Until you tell me your name,
at this very
Stays
moment,
quiet
when
for a long time.
he's going through nicknames, I wish to try to interpose into his head Clifford.
you're Clifford. The big red asshole.
I seem very happy with myself and nobody knows why.
Oh my god, I can't hear
Okay, we got Clifford. Who you? Turtle Man? What's your name?
I introduced myself, but you were all getting a bit uppity. I said my name is Osiris.
That's fair. We get uppity around here. It's what we do. Nice to meet you. You? And he points to Christine.
Yes?
Do you not get what's going on here? What's your name?
You were a bit loud. Sorry.
I do that.
Yeah, it seems like it. Christine.
Nice to meet you. And finally,
Looking at me, I'm saying.
yeah.
My name is Selena.
Well, look at that. Introductions are underway. What a beginning to this shit.
How many
So,
more steps are there then?
he like does like the hand up to his head and he goes, more than you could think. As he does like the explosion symbol, like wave.
Fucking hell.
I'm going to get an aneurysm with this.
Now, we don't have fucking time for this shit. Our plan is already months late. Let's get this shit. We don't... He's like walks past the table, like doing a lot of emphatic movements, but not saying a whole lot.
You'd think if it was months late, he wouldn't mind a few more days.
We don't have a few more days.
You should have become a bard with movements like that.
I was a bard, and then I lost my hand.
I'm not even gonna
And then
ask. so
chose
don't-
to stop being a bard?
You can't play the guitar with one hand.
That's...
Mage hand?
not gonna go there with that.
I can't. I wasn't a good magic part of them.
Well, I'm out of options.
It was always the kazoo.
He's looking at the table, like quietly. He goes, what the fuck are we waiting for? Come on! He's like, everyone get around you, get your asses over here, and the other three people all get up and move over to the table. They stand around, Bralov moves as well, and you'll come and like, I don't know any of you guys, so you guys are getting the easy job. And by that I mean, Bralov has told us what job you're doing, and he disagreed to let you kill anyone, so you're not doing that part of the job.
I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear the killing part, but I will.
Why would you pretend to not hear that? I said everything directly. If I wanted my words to not be crossed, I wouldn't have said them.
Anyway, basically you're on distraction. Bravo speaks up.
Fine.
Well,
And he
Big of a distraction.
less big, more time. And he grabs like pulls aside like a bunch of notes, and you see like a full map of the gear house that's like displayed in front of you all. And it's like, we little doohickey we got from our friend Bralov here. We're gonna do a little sneak on in and get the this is the center of it, but this is the whole thing, including the edges and outside. We're gonna sneak on in and get what we need for our continuation of our plans. Now this don't involve you because you ain't members of Tsunami. But we gotta outsource right now. So we're outsourcing our distraction to you guys. You all gotta go in here and just lure the bitches into the middle. I don't give a fuck how you do it. I don't care if you punch a person. I don't care if you make 1,000 orders. You just gotta get the people into the middle area so we can go and snoop through the workshops. Easy enough?
Worst
How
comes to
many people?
worst. Worst comes to worst, I can set up some of our defenses that are easier for you to take down. Those you'll have to fight, but they're not people.
better than trying to make a distraction that probably won't work for most of us.
Well, plan A is the better one, because if you distract, we can get in, get what we need, and get out. Thanks to that little chalk we got our hands on, we can just draw a little box and reach on through and take what we need. Quick job. We just gotta find where the box is first. But if you cause a mess, and we make a lot of sound, and you gotta break shit, then people are gonna ask questions after, maybe this doesn't go as smoothly. So hopefully break shit doesn't come first.
Silent.
Is that it?
Yeah, plans are simple. Complicated plans go wrong all the time. Fuck that shit.
Fantastic. How many people are inside?
Oh,
There's about 7 stations, one of which belongs to the High Artificer, which is where we're taking this stuff from.
I have some ideas. I mean, this place is going to be filled with a lot of artificers and people who are interested in strange magic. I could probably cause a distraction, but for a limited time.
Do you just need the one person to come out instead of just everyone? Would it be possible just to get the high whatever to come out themselves? And that would be fine?
Artificer isn't here anyway. The
Oh,
problem is
fantastic.
we
That
don't
was
know.
going to be the issue.
The problem is we don't know where it's taken. That's the first place it'd be. The second place it'd be with Muldoon. But in case we need time to search literally everyone but my station, then we're gonna need a long distraction.
I have an idea.
Mhm.
How descriptive of said object you are looking for can you be?
Their plans,
Like, details.
like
And then I can
blueprints.
point you in the exact direction on where it might be, if it works.
So that's this whole NDA thing that I signed. I can't do that. And usually, if it was just a normal contract, that'd be fine. But it's a magical contract as well.
So it would emit a magical aura.
It could do, but so would everything else. The whole place is filled with both blueprints and magical equipment.
Shit.
Do you not know what an artificer's workshop is, man? Whole place is
how-
magic.
I don't know how your planning process goes, but my planning process goes is that you put everything on the table and then you slowly work down. Even if it's stupid and makes no sense, then you can slowly work around it. That's how I work. I'm not imposing that on anyone. I'm just getting my own head wrapped around it so I can be as efficient in this process as possible. I would prefer to not be subjected to unniceties for suggesting things.
He's just nodding along when you talk the whole time, like,
I feel like
And he
you
goes,
could have just said, "Don't be an asshole."
I'm gonna call you Green.
There's a word that I would call you, but I won't because we are in mixed company. And he hears in his head, cunt.
Oh my god.
Why did I think that?
You see him blink just once or twice, and then he just keeps like looking at you.
Yeah, of course you'd have a low end.
So, yeah, that's what we've got. If you want to throw some changes in the plans, you can talk about it here, but worst case scenario, I animate a few things, you beat them up. Stuff that's not too difficult for me to fix.
Question.
Hmm?
How often do you guys have a fire alarm drill?
Every day, everything gets set on. I just said her pendant got set on fire.
I don't think that's a drill at that point. I think it's just fire.
Cause I do have this alarm spell. I could trigger it out to make it loud and do a fire drill.
There's not really a drill, you just get a
Wa-
bucket of either water or chemicals.
I am able to.
What you
I'm
don't
able-
have? What place say health and safety? What you have to fight the fire yourself?
Artificers.
Fair.
I'm able to create ethereal magic wings that sprout out of my back for about a minute. Do you think that most artificers that would be in the vicinity would be drawn to such a thing, and then maybe want to talk to the person who could do that?
There could be some people trying to make robotic wings. It'd be interesting to see how ones would work, but
Yeah, they're definitely not robotic.
well, yeah, to get details, you look at a bird to make a sailing, what's it called? A
My point
sail.
is that something like this would probably be not easily come by.
If
and
On the
might
other hand,
pose-
people can cast fly in this city, miss.
This is true.
if you could be able to get them into a group, we could pretend some kind of concoction or whatever in the air has come out, and they could potentially put some to sleep. Those who aren't of resistance. do it. It's an option.
Yeah.
Honestly, you make whatever choices you want to make. There's 6 workshops here. We gotta check. Well, 5. One of them's his. Don't gotta touch that one. Good having an inside man. He's getting us in. It's great.
Wasn't it 7 in total?
7 is including the high artificers, which we're gonna check first. That's not a workshop, though. Kind of a workshop. Mostly not a workshop.
Isn't that still 6 though?
I'm gonna call you spicy. You're spicy. You're spicy now.
Cool. I'm gonna call you metal.
It's fair. I got no metal on me. I don't understand that. Okay, I don't care how you distract these people. All I want you to do is get them out of their workshops and into the main room. Because then we can move from workshop to workshop to workshop and check what we need to if we don't find it in the first 2.
Preferably, we can do it tomorrow when your stuff is done.
Worst case scenario, we only have 3 days to check this shit.
Well, we'll have to do some brainstorming.
Tomorrow would be ideal. At least with tomorrow, then. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'll be able to make someone invisible, which will more than likely help your endeavors.
That could help.
Our endeavors or your endeavors?
Your endeavors.
Just a note, just so everything goes down. If you cause like a distraction, they will remember you. A lot of people in there remember details like who they talk to and stuff. So, if you ever just want me to do the other thing, at least we can make it seem like you're helpers who was just in the right place at the right time.
If you can't think of anything good, then we could always go with that.
I can give a very subtle signal for you to make that happen when we run out of... What's the word I'm looking for? Subtle ideas.
Okay. Well, if we're planning tomorrow, he's seemingly like, he's just trying to... Brother looks like he's trying to get you guys out of here. Mainly because he just doesn't want you dealing with Garrett and his friends. He's just like, we should all rest up then, just in case it's tomorrow, right, Garrett?
Yeah. Rest is a good thing. Gotta make sure you get your 8 hours in, at least.
I agree. Well, it was lovely meeting you all. And I go to... I'm assuming that wall's like, kind of...
Oh,
again.
from the inside, it's just a door.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just straight up a door. It's got like a weird it's got like a just strange handle on it, but it's just a door from the inside.
Yeah, I just go to leave.
He's sitting there he's just staring at you while you start to walk away, and he's like, no, before you go,
Oh,
Yes.
no.
I don't have a nickname for you yet.
Introductions kind of seem pointless if you assign everyone nicknames.
I'm not good at names and faces. I like
Call me
nicknames,
Princess.
makes it better.
I look at your face and remember your nickname. It's easier than looking at your face
Yeah.
and knowing your name.
Like I said,
Very counterintuitive.
call me Princess.
He looks at you, clicks his tongue a few times, and he goes, no.
You call me whatever you want, then.
Can you actually make those wings?
Yes.
I'm calling you Wings then. Your Wings! Go!
What about hot wings?
No, she's pretty cold though.
Probably.
You cold Wings!
That is surprisingly accurate.
What about cold hot wings, boss?
Okay, Sledge. Chill it off a
He's
bit.
warm wings in his head.
If you could mentally picture one brain cell trying very hard.
That's all I have left.
Yeah.
After this relationship, that's all I have left.
You can assume out of the 4 individuals in this room, who aren't you all and Bralov, they maybe
Sledge.
only have 4 brain cells between them.
Garrett's
Well,
got
Sledge was
3.
pretty right.
And Garrett has most of them.
Oh
Does not
no.
bode well for this mission.
They're
I
fucked.
at that point, like after the nickname is sort of solidified, I just like nod and I leave. It's sort of like, I don't know, like maybe Christine might notice it because she was sort of paying attention to before, but it's like I don't want to be there.
She does, but I feel like there's other things happening right now.
It hurts. This could be so much more efficient.
No, not like that. It can't be.
No, we wouldn't even need them for what I have planned, but somebody does not want to, or can't, probably the correct term, cooperate.
Have you tried looking in?
I have thought about it.
Again, honestly, just think of what you want to do. If it helps, it helps. If you need me to do the other plan, I have it ready.
What I want to do, you will not like.
Is it gonna get you caught?
No, it will not
Maybe.
get me caught.
Nah, Court's dead, man.
Who is this? Oh,
That's sad.
guy?
Oh, yeah, he hasn't asked that question yet, actually.
Christine, roll in your table.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, go for it. All right.
Wait, is this happening?
hey, yeah, fuck it, Kim.
No.
Roll a d10.
Wait, actually?
You rolled.
Kimmy, this is your fault.
You get to enjoy the ocean.
Why? Are you kidding me? Don't take me back there!
Is it the same one, AJ?
No! You're teleported into a city
You're actually doing this.
that looks like Agrabah from Aladdin.
You're actually doing this! What?
Amazing.
What the fuck? Okay,
I'm not
sure,
actually
whatever.
doing this now.
No, it doesn't actually happen now.
Yeah, no, don't.
It's not like I actually said it. Jeez.
No, you said it had happened. But yeah.
Why did I
What
roll
does Braylov
that?
say to me?
Hmm?
So what does Braylov respond with?
What exactly are you going to do?
I can find out exactly what we're looking for without you telling me. Tell you exactly where it is. Put someone invisible, then they can use the chalk, go get it, in, out, 10 minutes. Most.
If it
Alright.
involves... I'm gonna roll intelligence for him.
I'm gonna break this down for you, layer by layer. Make this easier to understand.
Mm-hmm.
This is Brylov speaking. I'm just not doing a voice for it because I can't. I don't yet. This is this gear house is the biggest guild in the Amarician Empire. There are wards against invisibility. There are wards specifically to deny scrying. There are wards specifically to deny, specifically to detect people entering areas they're not meant to. There are also spells in place to trigger responses in those situations.
I feel like
Then
that
how
should
do
have
you
been mentioned
expect
at the
to
start.
break in to get anything? It's
Because
welcome.
I can get into those locations.
I feel
And
like
I can get
I
in.
should find out what we need. I make you invisible, and you go get it.
I don't need to be
You don't even need
invisible.
to be
I can
invisible,
walk
just go.
through.
you can just go in there.
That's why you need to take the people out of the areas, because I can't just walk back there and walk up to wherever they keep their plans and just reach on in the side of it and pull it out.
Yeah, that's fine. We can still distract them, but you will know exactly where it is, and that takes up so much less time. We don't have to cause this massive distraction, which is going to cause issues. Or you set your
There are
bots off or whatever.
hundreds of blueprints in this building. I could tell you the dimensions of the paper, and you would get dozens of responses.
Yes, but I
Minimum.
can find out exactly what's written on them and give you a location.
If you're going to search my mind, I'm not sure what the NDA is going to do there.
I cannot magically tell you what is on them.
Have you not seen them?
I have seen them. I am literally not able to convey what they are to other people.
Right, what I have in mind isn't you conveying it.
Does that still breach it?
I don't know, it's a solid question, that's why I'm asking.
If it's detecting my thoughts, I'm not sure of the consequences of that.
If it's just,
Here's
I
something-
can't tell you. Basically, okay, there is magic on him to stop him from being able to describe these to you.
No, yeah, I figured that.
Yeah, he can't even draw them or do anything like that to help you out with this.
Oh, okay.
Look, this
It's not like he's being a C word about it.
somehow this isn't in the NDA. Ghislanian mages made this spell.
Oh.
So you could, okay, just to make this quicker, if Osiris wants to try and detect thoughts, you'll see what you can try, and we'll tell you what happens. But you don't know if it'll work or not.
Get shocked back.
He is willing, so there will be no saving throw.
Yeah, like I'm willing to try, but I'm not sure what's going to A, happen to me, and B, happen to you.
Shrug.
I'm gonna do something.
Okay.
Okay, let's do it.
Alright, so you're casting Detect Thoughts on him?
Yep.
Wait, before
Okay.
you do,
Okay, this should be fun.
Also, for Dimitri, you
I'm gonna
didn't...
cast Watcher's Will on myself, Osar, on everyone in present company.
using a channel divinity.
Yes, Channel Divinity.
So there's advantage.
Specifically, what does that do? Because I don't remember.
Advantage on-
Advantage in all intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws.
Cool.
For your divine sense before, other than Jeff, there was nothing that triggered your divine sense.
Besides the normal.
Even tieflings don't technically trigger it. They're humanoids, not infernals.
Yeah, but I like it that way. Anyway,
I like it.
you
being
see
taped.
as these purple eyes appear on all your foreheads.
Cool.
Right? So you're
Okay,
you're
so
diving
you're
deep.
casting, you're diving deep into his brain.
Does that
Yep.
mean I'm a cop now?
No, you are definitely not a cop.
No.
Trying to find the right thing, because I don't have it written down.
Man, I wish I knew what place I would have gone to at that beach.
Okay, luckily with advantage, make a wisdom saving throw, Cyrus.
Oh.
Oh,
Thankfully, you dropped the first natural one.
thankfully. Oh no.
So, you reach out, casting Detect Thoughts into his mind. The surface thoughts are the same as always. It's a bit of frustration currently, and embarrassment from what you all just had to deal with. And also just like layers of just tiredness. Like you can tell he's very, very tired of all the shit that's been going on.
Sick of this shit.
Yeah, very much a case of I just want to get back to working on my shit. I'm sick that I have to jump through all these hoops to get there. You start digging deep, and you pushed back looking for specifically the plans that you're hunting for. And an image of them, description of them, anything. Initially, you just find like a wall kind of in your way, as if you were like searching through a forest. You just come across a solid, just clear wall you can't get past. And as you push on it, trying to dig deeper, it lashes back at you.
Poor bastard. Ow.
Is that it?
Wait.
We're waiting for the
Right,
damage.
yeah.
I should have said I'll prepare some healing, but I will.
You're pretty lucky. So as you push in and it lashes back at you, you only take 21 points of psychic damage.
Mm-hmm.
as you feel something drilling back along this path into your own mind, and you forget the last 10 minutes. So basically, you were on the docks, going down to the bottom. You're still on the docks. You haven't gone down there or met any of those people or done anything.
The hell are we?
This is like you guys are coming up through the boat as happened. So you basically are coming to this realization as you're pretty much about to step back out onto the ruins of this on the top of this facade boat.
Okay,
So yeah,
So to me, it's like we went down and come immediately back up.
Yeah.
pretty much. To everyone else, let's find out what you think.
Yeah, like Osiris was knocked to the ground, like woozily stands back up and is like, so are we going down or what?
You
It kind of
okay?
seems pointless if we're just going to go back up.
What do you want about?
Are you okay, Cyrus?
What do you mean? What am I on about? We've walked down and then we're walking back up. Aren't we supposed to meet some people?
We did.
What happened when you fell
We
down?
already did. We met them.
What did...
He looks at a lot of you. Alright, so now we know what happens. Don't search in my mind.
Ah,
What are you talking about? Why would I search in your mind?
of course I make a 1. Of course.
So,
Okay,
like,
right.
Bailov non-nonsensely tells you about what happened over the last 10 minutes. Like, just, he's done with everything. Here's the dot point version of what happened.
TLDR.
Here's the question. Osiris, do you use detect thoughts on him to see if he's telling the truth?
Oh, that's... Oh...
Do you remember using your second level spell slot though?
Does he tell me not to do that? Like, does
Like
he
he-
say that's what happened last time?
Yeah, specifically he says, then you did this, and now this is what's going on.
Nah, I think I'm good.
Okay.
I will tap you on the shoulder there, buddy. You can 20 points with lay on hands.
I'd like to point out that put me on 2 hit points.
It did.
You can just
Jesus
click
Christ.
and... You can,
This is
just,
immediately
you, can
on
just,
hand.
you can just click and scroll.
Okay, you want to know something bad, Osiris?
Yeah,
It rolled poorly.
Yeah, it did.
Oh.
that's fair.
And also you saved.
He failed his save.
No,
Oh
I don't
my.
think
Oh no,
so.
you failed. Right, yeah, I saw green dice, that's why.
Man, I rolled like shit.
You did roll like shit. Thank God you didn't roll the nat 1. You would have forgotten the whole day.
Oh,
That's a good thing I
Ow.
asked about the prophecy, eh?
Oh
That's
my
it.
god!
The
Jeremy,
straight up,
thank
yeah. If
God
you hadn't
that
told her,
thing
you would have
rolled.
forgotten
If
it.
you rolled that 1, you would have lied.
well, that's a mind-altering effect that would have had advantage anyway.
Yeah, you had advantage anyway.
Much as I didn't really help.
Oh, that would have been hilarious.
But yeah, he
Help us in case there was more
he
backlash.
gave you the rundown of like what happened. He's like, "Alright, you up to speed again?"
That is such a stupid idea. I can't think of why I would have thought to do that. There's obviously going to be things put in place to prevent it. I mean, something as simple as a detect thought spell.
Yeah, you still did it.
Is that play of the game or what?
I don't know.
You
Okay.
already had play of the game. You can't have 2.
I know, it's hard to have more. It's hard to have so many options. He already has it. Okay, we're just gonna wipe because it's getting late. You guys, unless you have anything else you want to do this night, you can all reconvene, have a rest. Jakova and Annex meet back up with you eventually, returning, having a nice hearty meal of many fish, meeting a lot of the orphans who live on the docks, and sometimes work on the boats.
Are you letting them know? Just to generally, are you telling them what happened?
I'll let him know. I wouldn't let him know, but I'm assuming like would probably let him know the situation.
I'll let them know if they ask.
Sam,
won't
do you
ask.
ask?
They would get the same dot point I was given.
Let me put it like this. Why would I ask Judas?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, so Osiris fills you in.
I just want to point out one small thing. I don't recall ever actually being told. I obviously I heard it in the session, but I don't recall Jakuvra ever actually being told you were having a dinner with Browlov in the first place.
Pretty sure we went over it when
Everyone-
we went back
Everyone was
to
in the gear house.
the-
No, not everyone
I
was.
don't think
Jakova
was.
wasn't.
No, he went.
A,
off.
Jakova wasn't, and B, when you brought it up at dinners and lunches, he was outside on the windowsill. doing
Yep.
other shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jakova
They
was
literally
never
knew
there.
about the dinner.
Yep.
The only person who told him was Annex.
And
we
this was
blew that.
probably after you guys had missed it.
Sorry, just felt like bringing that up.
No, that's fun.
It's funny, honestly.
When Selena gets back to the inn, she's just gonna go straight up to her room.
Okay.
So yeah,
So I probably get there like a little bit before everyone else.
but yeah, the night is confusing for some, and a lot to think about for others. Unless there's anything anyone wants to particularly do, we can just wipe into the morning, and
Yeah, that's
unless AJ has other plans,
No.
we'll end the session there.
Still one session.
You guys have 2 weeks to think about what you're going to do to distract the gear house.
Oh, God.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And if anyone wants to not take part in it,
I got 2 weeks to find out if I get told.
They-
Other than the dot point.
Oh, okay. But yeah. Thanks for calling, everyone. I hope you had fun. Some big stuff got revealed today.
So,
It's fun. We had an NDA puzzle. We had a reference to Final Fantasy VII puzzle. We had all the fun stuff. So thanks for joining for that.
again.
Tomorrow I'll be starting my Shantae. I'll be playing Risky's Revenge for the first time. I'm not sure if it's going to be its own stream or if it's going to be 2 streams because I think the game is pretty short, relatively, but we'll find out. Other than that, that'll be at 10 p.m. on Tuesday. We'll be playing some more primetime, hopefully. We're doing Bomb Dockyard. We're doing Bomb Dockyard on Stealth. It's super fun. I love it.
You're having a great time.
Then on Wednesday we'll be doing session 1 on Wizards of Atheneum presents Lost Minds of Foundover. Join me as a player for once in my fucking life.
Aw.
And
Rock
friends. We'll be going through the tutorial campaign as Kim is the DM, so come and watch her and give her
Come
boosts
watch
in
me
morale.
struggle.
No, go to her Twitch and tell her she's doing a good job.
Come watch me struggle.
And watch me like creep out the audience with my horrible character.
Question.
Yes.
Answer.
Is it also in is it also the current rule that we have to make Kim cry in her own campaign that she's
No.
running?
Kim has to make
Yeah.
Kim cry in her own campaign.
I will
Yeah.
if
Kim,
things
you
get
got big
emotional
shoes
in
to fill.
character.
Thursday.
That's easy.
Thursday I'll be playing through Digimon's story, Cyber Sleuth. I'm having fun. I had some fun. I got some old school Digimon in my party now. It's cool. I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna have fun with the game. And we'll be back next week for actually happening probably. Maybe not. Because something always comes up. Session 27?
Shrug.
Yes, session 27 of Icewind Dale, Realm of the Frost Maiden. They're beginning Act 3. It's a fun
Be
act.
nice to get to that new character.
You need to introduce so many new characters. So many.
The best party.
But yeah. Other than that, we're back in 2 weeks' time for this. Do our streaming friends have any new streaming information?
No, but I may need to talk to Jesse now because I need to make sure times don't clash.
Sadly, I do not at the minute.
Alright. Well then, thanks for coming. Don't do drugs, stay in school. I'm not your dad, but I love you just as much, and I'll catch you all tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.